everyone. Hope everything is going well. We return with the live streams post national, and none other. We have Steve Splenda from Splenda Sports Cards on Instagram. It's one of my favorite guests. Steve, what's going on?
Not much, brother. Post national. My presence is here. Your presence is here. It's been too long.
Exactly,
I'm
exactly,
ready to chat.
exactly. And the shadow banning's going on too with
Uh-oh.
both of our accounts, mainly yours though.
Well, they don't like me.
Why,
The
why don't
internet
they like you?
tech lords don't like me because I talk about shit people don't want. The government doesn't want us talking about.
There you go. There you
They
go.
don't like people. They don't like diversity of ideas.
Yeah, exactly. A lot
That's
of
a
people talk
problem.
about diversity, but never about the diversity of opinion, which is,
Yeah.
I think, the most important part. That's a conversation I don't think I'll use this term, and maybe someone will pick up on this. The hobby deep state. I don't think the hobby deep state wants the diversity of opinions.
No,
There you
they
go.
don't. But any type of institution is that
Yeah.
way. So, like, as far as my Instagram goes, like some of the stuff I enjoy talking about it because I like nuanced ideas and I like
Right.
to be challenged. Like, if there's something I don't know,
Right.
inform me, send me a link, let me read up. Like, my opinions could be changed, but like, don't send me fluff.
Right. Right.
You know,
JMF Collectibles, what's going on, man? It's all about the vibes. Were you at the show last week? Because I thought you said that you'd be at the National. I don't think I bumped into you. I bumped into a bunch of people there. So, Kamikaze Sports Cards, what's going on? Chris C says, hello, guys. Chris C also says, Fanatics doesn't want diversity. They want cheap.
yeah.
I think they want to get into different markets and they say diversity. So, I use marketing. That's how they used to roll. So, it is what it is. All right. Vendorialar. I always mispronounce your name. I'll just call you Warlock. What up? What up? All righty. What's
JMF
up?
said he was at the show.
Yeah, he's at the show. Missed on meeting you. I missed meeting a few people too. I really hoped on seeing some other people out there. And, unfortunately, you can make it. So you're
Yeah,
going to be.
dude. I had FOMO bad. I'm not gonna lie. I kept texting or messaging you and Dan because I was like, man, I'm like looking through people's stories and
Yeah.
vendors' cases, and I'm like, shit, like there's a lot of stuff I'd like to get.
Right, right. And then I picked up this from the Whatnot booth.
Whatnot?
Yeah,
Did you
Whatnot. They
see
were.
did you meet Blake Martinez or
No, I
did
didn't
you
get
meet
to
him
see
there?
Blake. I think I saw Mojo from afar. I think he was around that table. But yeah, I picked this up, and I guess no one noticed this. So apparently, they were auctioning off, not auctioning off. If you put 23 bucks down, someone could win Michael Jordan's Mercedes Benz from 1996. So
I saw that in one of your dailies, and that made me
yeah,
think like, who
I don't
are
think
they
that's
auctioning
even
off?
legal, and I don't know if who won. So it is what it is. All right, Fanatics versus Panini. Who wins, Steve?
If we're going by like this type of fight, you got to go with bankroll. And like Fanatics, isn't Fanatics like they got the bankroll? So I don't know. I'm not well versed enough on like this current lawsuit of what's all like going down. But like as far as the long run, man, Fanatics is like they got the money. Like eventually they're probably going to lean on whoever and take over everything.
I mean, I'm gonna look at it from a tinfoil hat point of view. I think that what's his name, Ruben. He's
Mhm.
tied to all the celebrities,
Yeah.
a bunch of elites. So if the system is in favor of the elites, who's gonna win? Fanatics.
That's
I didn't even want to do a video about it because people say, okay, this is not a nutty explanation, but that was my thought process. I don't even need to look at the minutia at it.
I guess like there's like I think Fanatics wins out in the long run because like you said, they have the connections, the network. I think they have the money. Um, but like I don't know what's going to go on with this. Panini was supposed to sell out, or they were going to buy up Panini. Like I don't know what's going to happen now with this lawsuit. I'll be honest. That'll
Oh
be
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a nothing burger, and Panini is just trying to what is it called? This is just a Hail Mary pass, as Sports Card Radio was saying.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: the booth of Panini looked nice at the National.
Oh
As much
yeah.
as I trash on Panini, I will say, hey, they had a nice booth. I'll look past my bias. Will says, "What up, Splenda? How's life dealing with the post-millennial females? Keep fighting the good fight, my man."
Well, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Will. These modern women, man. Oh. I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the women of the hobby don't like you, Steve.
I don't know any women of the hobby. I mean, actually,
Yeah,
that's
that
a lie.
group.
There's been a few I've interacted with, and dude, they actually, when I go to card shows, women actually love me there. And I'm pretty like, I'm always myself. So I'm always saying my thoughts and ideas pretty outspokenly.
Are they following you on IG?
A couple,
Okay.
not a lot. I'm not gonna, not that I've noticed a lot, but I don't follow like how many followers I have and stuff. So, but like, there's some women who are in there who've gotten a hold of me about different things, and
Okay. Okay.
but, like, in
Well,
person at shows, they love me.
there you go.
Everybody loves me in person, though. Like, at shows, like, I very, very rarely have any bad interactions.
Right. I mean, I think it's like on Instagram or YouTube, people are like, did they really say this? But then when we meet in person, it's just, hey, what's going on? What's
Yeah,
up?
dude.
You know?
I think people get, like they hear things and it's like words make you, they get all butthurt so fast. It's like, who cares? Like, okay,
I
we might
mean,
disagree on this, but it's like at the end of the day, like, we're in the majority of what we're doing involved in this hobby is bringing us together. So, like, we agree on something at least.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hockey 99. We don't get enough Steve Splenda on streams. Glad he's back. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I plan to get on different type of guests in the coming weeks and months ahead. Just, hear a different point of view that we usually don't hear because the hobby elite don't want that. All
Well, they
right.
don't. They don't like you or me or my Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. I get people, they like unfollow me because I say something on Instagram. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. I'm too tinfoil hat for you. Vendorialar. I'm gonna say
Warlock.
Warlock. I'm dumb. Warlock says thank or Ty making things even worse by challenging SCR, saying they lied about what happened and disparaging them. I mean, Ty and his peeps need to keep quiet. I mean, I have autographs. I think that was a good learning experience for me because I one day will have to sell my autographs. So, or at least some of them. And a lot of good videos came out of that. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that. Have you?
Yeah, I followed you and Dan, and I watched I think one or two videos Sports Card Radios did about it. I think because you and Dan were talking to me about it, so I jumped in just to see what was going on. But I watched you cover it, Dan cover it, so I'm like pretty caught up, and it's like that Rock auto turned out to be like fake. I mean, it seems like it's a fake. So
Yeah,
I
it
don't know,
doesn't look
man. Not a good look
authentic.
for them, but you screw up, you learn from your mistakes. Hopefully they, get better from this.
And I didn't do a video about this, but I was thinking how to ruin your reputation in a span of 24 hours. That's what Ty did. Chasing cardboard, a lot of people liked him. I even like that guy.
Mhm.
And he, challenged PSA. I don't know if you remember this, like 4 or 5 months ago, he challenged PSA saying, hey, look, I'm not going to take money from PSA to keep quiet.
Yeah,
Everyone forgot about that.
yeah,
Now everyone thinks that this guy is incompetent. And I don't know, he just totally hurt his reputation.
yeah. And when
If
you
he
break
wants
that
advice,
trust, yeah,
what
when you break that trust, like it's hard to get that back.
Exactly. I mean, if he wants advice, just send us a DM, one of us, and we will tell him straight up what to do.
Yeah.
Just be quiet. We messed up, and we're gonna move forward and improve our process. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't start a fight with Sports Card Radio regard to this. When Sports Card Radio was 100% right
Yeah, that's
regarding
the
what they're
thing.
saying.
Like, I can understand challenging them if like you had receipts backing up your claims, but
Right. If it's like a real rock auto, fine. But this, I mean, Beckett even said no, right? I think PSA said no, a quick opinion.
and I'm not going to act like the grading companies are like unblemished and they're perfect, but at the same time, like you got multiple saying no, like, and then you kind of double down. It makes not a good look for sure.
And it doesn't look, if you look at the autos that were authenticated by PSA and Beckett, they look nothing like the same thing.
You can see it.
Right. Let's look at this. Hockey says, AIH, do you see Fanatics, Panini, and Upper Deck using pronouns in cards in the future? Steve, you're the expert on this. Are they going to use pronouns?
Oh, man. That's a funny question. But, hey, in today's world, I guess you never know. I guess if, like, Leah Thomas has a card come out, like if swimmers have cards or, like, maybe they'll use pronouns for that. Hey, anything is possible. Kevin Garnett said it. Anything is possible. So we might see it. I won't buy any, but
I mean, let's think about this. Remember how what's his name? Ruben was in some post with Meek Mill, the rapper, and
yeah,
Meek Mill that was a weird picture, but I think like Ruben was he touching him or is it a joke or whatever it was. So we'll stop.
Me the creeps, man.
That was just weird.
He gives me weird vibes.
And no one really covered that in the hobby.
No.
Like everyone kept their mouth shut.
Well, nobody's going to say anything about Ruben right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you have any type of influence, content, or sponsorship in this hobby, like you're not going to bite the hand that potentially is about to be feeding you. Like, especially if you want to deal with Fanatics or something like that. I don't have any, they'll never talk to me about anything. So I don't mind saying that dude creeps me out. He's weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I had a good positive impression of him, but then when he's doing that, I'm like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, dude.
Like, what's up?
He honeypotting this dude.
We come from the tinfoil hat world, and we know there's a lot of compromised officials in our government.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, is it besides politics, is it going on, in sports? Is it now going to be in sports cards?
Oh, dude, I fully believe it's going on with even like the athletes that everybody pretends that they're untouchable. Bro, if you're that famous and you have that much networking ability and like what's the word I'm looking for? Influence over the masses. Oh yeah, you're touchable. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many people are compromised, how much dirt is on people. I mean, I've noticed so much hanky-panky going on in sports cards.
Yeah.
So if it's going on in sports cards, what's going on in sports?
Oh,
and then what's going on with the elite going on? I mean, we know about, Epstein and all that crazy stuff that went down. I'm just wondering.
Bro, shout out to the chat. Some of these comments are amazing. Right?
Yeah, I know. I haven't been able to look through all of them yet. Oh, man. I don't have moderators, but some of them get crazy.
Shout out Flippin' Steve. I saw he left.
Yeah, I saw Flippin'. I haven't gotten to that yet. But
Reckoning!
Yeah, Reckoning's in here. Oh, man.
See, bro.
So yesterday, Reckoning said that I don't cover the Michael Jackson story. So I responded. I'm like, bro, there's other people that don't know their fathers or that have fathers and mothers that are actually their biological father and mother, but they don't know about it. But the public has figured that out. And I gave the example of Chelsea Clinton because I don't think Chelsea Clinton's real dad is Bill. Have you seen that? Yeah. Have you seen those pictures?
I don't either.
Yeah, you don't either. Okay.
There's another family that's been in the White House that I think there's some hanky-panky going on as well, where things
Big Mike. Big Mike.
Big Mike. Just look up Joan Rivers.
Wait, didn't Joan
Hell of a lot.
Rivers die? Didn't Joan
Yeah,
Rivers die like right after she
after
said
that.
something that
Bro,
you shouldn't be saying?
D Wade's son said something in an interview with him.
Oh boy.
I
Oh
sent
boy.
you a video of it.
Yeah, I know. You sent it to me right before the
I was
show.
like, did she just oust Michelle? Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know, dude. I feel like the elites are a bunch of weirdos, dude. You ever see Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick?
I think back in the day.
Bro, I swear that shit's the farther we get in time, the more real that type of stuff I feel is going on. Like the elites are in their own echo chamber of craziness.
Yep. So like yeah, Ron Fig says Webster Hubble is her dad. Yes, that's what I think is going on. I think Sports Reckoning do a video on that. I get
Reckoning,
it.
I just have to say, I fully endorse your Michael Jackson story about Diana Ross and Smokey being the love parents of Michael Jackson. I totally endorse that. That way, if you ever make a video, you can be like that idiot Steve who thinks Brittany Mahomes is a PSA 6, at least agrees with me on the Michael Jackson saga.
I mean, he had a good point. You went to the bathroom.
I had to
What?
pee, but I can
Are
promise
you
you,
sure?
I
Are you
did.
sure? Is that
I did. I'll be
well,
honest. Like, if we were in, like, I'm in small town bum shit Ohio. Like, if a Brittany Mahomes walks up at the bar in in my little ass neck of the woods, like, yeah, she's gonna turn heads. But we're talking about the macro. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes' wife. That's a PSA 6. Like Pat Mahomes, the best player in the world at football. Yes, she is a PSA 6 for Pat Mahomes. For me, you can throw me under the bus. Yeah, she's whatever. She'd be like a PSA 9, a BGS
but can't
95
you
for
turn
me.
a PSA 6 into a PSA 8 with Kurt's card care?
Hey, that's true. Kurt's card care is like card makeup for women.
Oh boy.
All I know is the National is where PSA 5s and 6s can run around as PSA 9s.
Say that again.
I said the National is the only event where you can have PSA 5s and 6s flowing around like they're PSA 9s.
I find it quite
And if you
interesting.
know, you know.
I find it quite interesting. I know some women will get turned off by this, but I think it's a true statement. Like any woman in the hobby, they automatically get clicks
Oh,
because this is a guy hobby. I call it a gamma hobby.
yeah.
So all the guys are just gonna, follow these women no matter what. And you call it beta, but when you have that situation, this is what happens, right? Where
Yeah.
you have people that are propped up just because they're a woman sometimes. And you could say in other aspects as well.
And it's
And
not.
I go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And I noticed this at work too, where I have to be careful in what I say, but they hire people and they're not qualified to do it. And some of the guys, they just hire some of these people because they just want to get boned up at work. That's just the best way to say it.
Yeah.
And I know it's not politically correct to say it, but it is. They're not qualified. Some of them, not all of them. I've had women bosses that are kick ass, but some of them are just horrid
Yeah.
and they're just hired because of looks. I just find it just quite fascinating.
I agree. It's just it's not something new though. Like, and it's not to like degrade anybody, but
Exactly.
there's certain things that men find appeal to that women can use to their advantage to gain these opportunities. And it's just life. Like, we're going to be called all kinds of bad names for saying it, but it's like, listen, you can say what you want, but it's reality.
Right.
It is what
Right.
it is. Don't shoot the messenger. And I as well have had, well, no, I haven't. I was gonna say
I
I've
can
had
say
some
without
good
a shadow of a
bosses,
doubt,
but
the
honestly,
best bosses. Go ahead.
it's in my job, in my field, like, every man that I've had as a boss has just been better than the women.
Yeah, I mean, I've had male bosses that I hated, male bosses that I like, some female bosses I like working under, some that I didn't. It is what it is. So just depends on the person. JK, let's go. Trading cards immortal. What up, everyone? Huge Pokemon scam. Rattle Pokemon had 7 parts to it. Big time scammy crap going on with reseals from Amazon. Did a vid. He bought 10 items. 8 out of 10 were resale garbage. I know Sports Card Radio talked about it. I haven't had a chance to see Rattle Pokemon's videos. Have you seen any of this or heard anything about this?
No,
A guy named
no.
Blake Martinez, a
Now, yeah,
football
I was gonna
player
is that
who,
what this is about, this
yeah, yeah,
rattle thing? Okay, so then, yeah, I'm familiar with the Blake Martinez, like, he was scamming customers on whatnot. Now, the intricacies and the details of it, I haven't caught up on all that. I just know because he's an ex-football player, and
right,
I'm into
right.
old Pokemon, so, like, but I think it has a lot to do with the whatnot thing, so
Yep,
but you know
yep.
what? Like, whatnot, I don't see them lasting.
I don't see them lasting either. I mean, they spent an arm and a leg at the National. And how are you going to compete against Fanatics when Fanatics is going to probably be controlling Panini in the coming years through a merger or the expiration of these licenses? How is how are these people on Fanatics going to operate? Are you going to have what, selling Funko Pops? I mean,
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
shoes. Are they going to start selling shoes on whatnot? I mean, what direction they're going to go, and they have to pivot away from cards. Are we going to do Pokemon TCG? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Flippin' Steve, what's going on? Fantasy football on the way. Okay. Yep.
Shout out Flippin' Steve. If you haven't been paying attention to his videos, he always sends somebody to the National. He sends out like a free ride, free trip to the National every year.
Yeah. What
So
a
like
good guy.
everybody who does content and stuff, like send that. I reached out to him today. Everybody make a donation, a contribution, because he's one of the real ones in this hobby. I really appreciate Flippin' Steve.
Yeah.
I was
Flippin'
messaging him
Steve.
earlier, letting him know, like, you mark me down. I want to contribute.
Yeah.
I'm not in the
Exactly.
fantasy football league though that he's doing. He's doing like a fantasy football league so that the money goes to the free trip for whoever wins.
I mean,
He even
Flippin'.
called you out in the video.
Yeah, he did. It's all good. Um, I have to see whether I'm going to do fantasy football or not this
It's
year.
filled up. He did a video today. It
Oh,
filled
he
up so
filled out?
quick, dude.
Oh, damn.
It filled up real quick, bro. Watch his video today.
I
He
haven't
goes down
had a chance.
everybody who's
Are they
doing
all
the
content creators?
12-man league, and he just burns them. It's hilarious. He just makes fun. Jeff Wilson's in it.
Oh, Jeff Wilson's in
Yeah,
it?
dude.
Oh, man.
Dustin's
Oh,
in it. Neo's in it. Rob's in it. Therapist.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. That'll be
Oh,
fun to follow.
I mean,
I
that'd
quit
be
playing fantasy
that'd be
football.
funny. I'd probably be trash talking in there and be like, "Hey, you guys didn't cover this. You didn't cover this in your
No,
videos."
dude. They're
Just say
probably
no.
like not flipping Steve, but a
Yeah.
lot of people in that were probably like, "I'm glad Raul's not in this."
I know I have
Well,
gone after some
Ziggy's in
people
it,
that.
bro. Shout
What?
out Ziggy. Ziggy's in
Oh,
that.
Ziggy's in it. Oh, he's gonna rip them
Yeah.
apart. Oh man, I have to go. There's a lot of comments here. Crap. Damn.
Yeah, there is a lot. I'm trying.
I mean, there needs to be. I need to get a. Dude, people
You
love
hire
commenting.
somebody.
Yeah, I know.
You go score. Get Ryan from Sports Card Radio coming here. Go through
That
the
will stir
comments
people
on
up.
your live streams.
That will definitely stir the pot. Send all your autos to Rick for authentication. I think that's a good idea. Don't you think so?
Yeah,
And Rick we trust.
and Rick.
Ruben is a hugger. Is he a tree hugger?
He's probably, bro. In his private jet, touching rappers. And then posting it, like, bro, what are you doing?
Didn't he help Meek Mill get out of jail? I don't want to.
I don't know.
I saw. Didn't someone help him get out of jail or something like that? Or
Dude, what it
I mean,
like? Wasn't it an NFL guy, or was that a different rapper? I could
no,
be
I don't.
wrong. I'm not, dude. I'm so out of date with these rappers now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too
when
much
I grew up,
about it,
rappers
but
were cool.
what's up?
Now they're weird. When I grew up, rappers were cool. Now it's I don't know what is going on with
Part
rap.
of Are they part of the Illuminati?
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I don't want to get too much into politics. Maybe later on in the program. Oh
Doesn't
man.
take us too long to get into
Yeah,
some.
no, yeah, well, because once we start, then it's hard for us to
We're
stop. Because, like,
back.
like like I said, like a lot of people are compromised in all parts of society. And then I remember Lil Wayne. I didn't vote in that election, but Lil Wayne, once he like announced I'm for Trump, he suddenly got criminal charges. Remember, like gun charges.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, wait, what? Where did this come about?
bro.
Right after coincidences. Speaking of coincidences, like what's up with these loaded boxes?
I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's such a tough take. It's just so scheduled now. Like it almost seems like they don't want to hide it. They're just doing it in plain day now, where it's just like, oh yeah, everybody knows it's marketing. And it's like I understand marketing to a degree, but it's like, is this the best way to go about it? And it's like it's the same big accounts and big names, and I don't know, dude. Like it's almost gotten to, but see, I'm not one to like rip wax. If I was somebody who did breaks, bought into them, and like bought wax and stuff, I'd be
Yeah.
pissed. But it's almost like it doesn't really affect me, so I don't want to say it. I don't care, but it's almost gotten to a point where it's like I just expect it now. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't throw me for a loop. Like if Michael Rubin does a video with
Yeah.
opening something, like I almost expect now that like this big banger card, and like there's a handful of other influencers that I
Right.
almost like I'm just not surprised. Like I'm not gonna call out people by names, but like everybody in this hobby would know. Like there's like 5, 10 different people where it's like if they're opening something, tune in because it's the hit's coming.
Yeah, I was just calculating some of these odds. I'm gonna do a deeper dive. It's like 1 out of 10,000, 1 out of 5,000, 1 out of 2,000, and you're getting these hits. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It just seems weird, man.
Yeah, I agree. Reckoning that it's a rigged game. They rig it. Like I get it, and they have the clout, they have the esteem in the influence, but
Right.
it's a rigged game. Like that's I stopped opening boxes like in 2012 was the last time I bought a hobby box of anything. When everything was still normal in the hobby for the most part, normal in the hobby where you could like afford decent value hobby boxes then. And I got out of it because it was like, I'm just burning money. I'm hitting if I get a big hit of somebody, it's not somebody I want to collect. I'm gonna have to sell it, flip it. I'm gonna have to do all this extra stuff. So I just started focusing on singles.
There you go. Yeah, I just buy singles. I don't rip packs. I mean, on occasion I may, but if I want a card, I just go to eBay and buy it because
Yeah,
what's the point? If I think it's rigged,
yeah.
then
If you and I go to a local hobby shop and we bought 2 hobby boxes for like 2 grand, I don't know what hobby boxes go for. Maybe they've come down a little bit, but like if you want a nice product, you're spending.
right.
Like if you and I go, we'll go back, chill, open our cards, and it'll be like we just caught $2,000 on fire. But like if we had a camera on us and we had some type of name or influence, then it'd be different.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, how does Pac-Man get these hits
I
all the
just
time?
I
I
it
mean,
just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I looked at some of the odds. Some of the odds don't make sense. I mean, pulling
And then
a
and then
cat.
you're pulling autos of the athlete right in front of you.
Yeah,
Like give me a break. Like I have nothing personal against anybody. It's not a personal,
yeah.
but it's like don't expect me to believe it. And if I don't believe it, I'm not a bad person. Like I'm just not dumb. And I'm not saying people who do believe it are dumb. I think it's just more naive, not being naive, but like, come on, what are the odds?
Yes. Don, yes, this is live, and I've seen your comments. I just haven't been able to get to all of them right now. And you should definitely come on one of these days. Remember Don?
Dawn, yes. Dawn's the man. Shout out,
Yeah.
Dawn. Your rants are better than mine.
Yeah, I have to. We need to catch up. It's been a while since I've talked to you. Oh my God, so many freaking comments. And people watching, don't take us too seriously. You know, we're just.
Yeah.
I know some people may get offended, but
Triggered.
Tr-
Triggered.
oh man, there were women at the national. Yes, there were. A lot of their husbands or their guys brought their girlfriends there.
I would never, but I say this being single, so like I can't. But I would never bring my chick to the national.
I mean, like I said, this is a guy hobby, and a lot of guys are single.
Yeah.
Or they may have been doing the hanky panky like the
It's just way
former.
too much male attention to be like taking what. And this isn't to say like women belong to me, but like if I'm invested in a woman,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually, at least that's how my life is. Like there's a lot of investment. I'm in it. Like I'm not parading her around to shit like too much male attention. No, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah. There's this hobby has given me like vibes of a lot of weird guys in the hobby.
Yeah,
Like I said, gamma males.
definitely
And
some weird dudes.
and I don't know if you noticed this, but okay, this is a nerdy hobby for the most part. And the ones that get up to the top, they never had this power in high school. They never were the quote unquote alpha.
Yeah,
At best, they could be a delta.
I
And
used to hide like my hobby habits in high school and stuff.
yeah,
Like that wasn't a cool thing. Like that wasn't gonna get you like getting to homecoming with the hot cheerleader. Oh,
yeah,
I'm just gonna go to this card show this weekend. Like, no, that's not. I kind of kept it hush hush. Now, if I went out and made like 12 tackles and maybe a strip sack, like yeah, that then you can talk to the cheerleader. But
yeah.
like you showing off your Ladainian Tomlinson cards, that's not really gonna get you anywhere.
Yep, yep. Let me see this. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man. Why don't you show some cards while I go through some of these
Oh,
comments?
I've never thought.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna show cards just because
Yeah,
we
dude.
talked
Everybody's
smack.
like, you've talked about Bill Clinton, Big Mama Michelle, like you've talked about all this shit. Like, come on, show some cards. So I haven't been on with you in a minute. So like I
Right.
have slowed down my buying. So like I've been doing a lot of trading, a lot of different stuff. I haven't been to too many shows. Like I said, I had to miss out on National, unfortunately. I had FOMO bad.
Right.
But like in May, my dad and brother were together. We were at my brother's place in Monroeville, and I picked up a 56 Clementi PSA 4. Remember, I told you and Dan I was going after this guy who had a PSA.
Oh yeah,
4
yeah. You're at the Pittsburgh
price.
show, right?
Yeah, this was in Monroeville, outside Pittsburgh. Well, I was going after a PSA 3 of this card, and the dealer was a absolute slapdick. Like he was
Yeah.
a jerk. He was overpriced. I made a very fair offer, very cordially and polite. I swear. In fact, witnesses like followed me after, like, what was that guy's problem? I said, I don't know. Like he's never been like in a negotiation before. Like that's his problem, not mine. But I got the PSA 4 off two guys who were absolutely awesome, set up in the back of the venue. So shout out to them because I can't remember who they are, but if they're by chance watching, you guys are awesome. At the same show, I got it's a PSA 8. 96 PM Japanese Venusaur PSA 8. Hold on, the glare. Venusaur is one of my favorite old school Pokemon. When I was a kid, he was one of the must-haves. 1997 Flare Showcase.
Oh man,
Very
whoa.
awesome.
Hold up.
Hold up,
You're
what?
promoting a guy that's been propped up by Big Pharma, man. Well, what's
Bro,
up, man?
here's what I'd say. He never forced anybody to do his Big Pharma. He wasn't promoting. In fact, he denied it.
He
So
denied it. I mean, like, how
yeah,
do you go from what was it, 40 home runs to what, 73 home runs?
bro, he was an MVP in Pittsburgh before he even went to Stanford.
He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Bonds is a
Without
Hall of Famer without what went on in San Francisco.
right.
But
Continue. I'm just gonna
it's a
show
nice
off
card. But
this fire.
I mean, if you don't like Big Pharma, Steve, I mean,
Hey, RFK Jr. doesn't like Big Pharma, and he's jacked up on HGH too.
wait,
Hypocrites be
did you just
hypocrites,
freeze
bro.
up, Steve? It just
I don't
froze
know.
up on
Can
you
you
when
hear
you
me?
mentioned that. Yeah,
Can you
now I
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a 97 Pinnacle, totally certified platinum blue out of 1999. Also, the steroid savage himself, Barry Bonds. This I got back from grading. This is a second year Topps Chrome Gold Refractor Carmelo.
Yeah.
Out of PSA 8 because it's pretty
Yeah.
off, it's off centered, pretty good.
Right.
This was from your favorite PWCC. This
Oh
is
boy.
a 2001 press pass insert rookie of LaDainian Tomlinson. It was
I mean, I
it was
have to acknowledge this. In my earlier videos, I used to praise PWCC until I found out how much hanky panky went down. I'm like, look,
yeah. I think there's learning.
I was naive. I'll admit this. I was naive about this. And then I learned all this information. People started sending me this. I didn't even know, Sports Card Radio did a video in 2019,
Right. I was shopping on PWCC for a while, and then you and I started talking. I was like, I didn't realize all this was going on there. And then this was a win in the playoff run. This is an
That's a nice
8-5
card.
2015 Jokic silver rookie, which hopefully went up since I got it. Even though you and Dan were like, dude, don't buy it on like during the pump. And I was like,
Yeah,
you
don't
guys
do
are
it.
right.
Well,
I just
wait.
did anyway. I thought it was actually a reasonable price though. That's the only reason I did it.
Okay. I mean, how's the off-season prices?
I haven't really been paying attention. I'm sure nines are probably around 800 to 900 bucks, and mine's an 8.5. I'm not going to talk about what I paid for mine, but I think it was a good deal for an 8.5. And I'm really considering cracking this out and sending it to PSA. Like, I'm not a simp.
Are you going to be using a little bit of Kurt's card care?
No, I'm gonna spit on it, rub it out. I'm gonna use Steve Splenda's sugar card care.
Oh, I like that idea. That's a really good idea.
I should come up with a card cleaner called Splenda Sweetness or something like that.
Yeah, you should.
I should do it, bro.
You should.
But yeah, this got an 8.5 from the centering, and like I've looked at a bunch of nines. I just don't think the centering is bad enough. So I might crack this, have my man Dan send it to me in my area, not Aussie Dan,
Yeah.
another Dan. I might send that one to PSA and hopefully for a 9. And then the last, I know I'm going on. I'm sorry I'm taking forever. The last, I just made a trade for this. This is a 2015-16.
That's a nice card.
Bro, when I saw it sealed, there's a little issue on the top corner. So, like, I'm going to have my buddy send it eventually when I'm back from vacation.
Okay.
I'll get with him. I'm going to send it for grading. I'm not expecting something crazy. Like, if it gets an 8, I'm happy. I think a 9, there's a potential for a 9. The last one of these I sent, I got a 9. But I wouldn't be surprised if this got an 8. But just for the idea of having it slabbed and protected, I'm gonna go for it. But yeah, I made a trade. I'm not gonna say with who, but he was a vendor at National just to prove how much FOMO I had. He had reels like every day showing his inventory, and bro, he had the nastiest, flawless selection of basketball. He had Giannis, Jokic, KD. I mean, he had some nasty stuff. Beautiful setup. So at the end of it, I was like, hey, bro, what KDs do you have left? So he sent me a picture of what he had left. And I saw the sealed one, and the sealed one had the best patch on it. So we made a trade. I traded my LeBron Chrome rookie and 2 other cards. Another KD Orange Refractor, and then Peyton Manning X-Fractor out of Finest. So I was pumped. I was like, hey, no cash, all trade. Let's do it. But shout out to him. He was got to be a big time vendor at the National because dude, his inventory was sick. I think I sent it to you I may have sent like
Yeah,
his
you're
faded
sending me stuff from Pittsburgh though. So yeah. Oh wait, Brandon Ryan says predicting a Trump card soon. Nope, not this time.
I mean, never mind.
I,
I can get
I think
one.
I have all three of the 2016 politicians. The lady you love, Steve.
The lady. Oh,
Yes,
no, bro.
Hillary, man, your
Did you
girl.
see Anthony Weiner was on that PBD's podcast last week or a
Yeah,
week
yeah. I
ago?
think I sent it to you,
Yeah, bro.
and you told me about it. I just saw the clip. I was dying.
Wow.
Oh man, I mean, I remember you sent me a. I think we were talking one time, and then you're talking about loaded boxes, just like the Clinton body count or something like that. I'm like, it's a coincidence, man. It's merely a coincidence.
All coincidence. Don't look too much into it. It's just a bunch of eerily crazy, ironic coincidences.
I mean, just shield bidding. It's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence.
It's a zero bid auction. You know, people were giving me crap last year for just pointing out, hey, these are zero bid, these Gary V zero friend cards, and the prices don't seem right. I got a lot of crap for that.
Bro, don't get me started on that guy. If I was
Oh
a
yeah, speaking of
national, and
Gary
I
V,
saw
like
the
in the
amount of grown
national,
men
like tell me,
sucking up, if I saw the amount of grown men sucking up to Gary V at the national, I'd probably vomit everywhere.
I
I just
mean,
think it's so weird. I don't get it. I do not get it.
yeah, I mean, an individual had a conversation with him. I'm not going to mention the name, but uh, I think what happened was, Gary V seemed to get irritated at kind of questions we've raised, and it's just quite interesting. I mean, like the dude, I don't know if he stole the idea of Karen Ritchie for some of the characters. It may just be, like I said, a coincidence.
Just
Remember those? Remember
yeah, gorilla,
Gratitude,
gratitude, and something else.
Gorilla, and then there's another one. I forget
Dolphin,
how the
maybe.
yeah, Dolphin, Determined Dolphin.
Yeah.
It is it's so weird. It's just
I
so
just
weird.
don't understand why grown men cling to him.
Because it's a gamma hobby.
It's
That's
just
what it
so
is.
weird to me, dude. Like, I don't get it. Like, I can understand, like, if you were a child seeing your like childhood sports hero, like maybe getting a little bit of that, oh man, wow, But like, I just, I don't know, dude. It makes me want to vomit. Seeing grown men oogle over other grown men. It's just so weird.
I mean, and the thing is that Gary V, I mean, there were rumblings that people associated with him were like pumping stuff on Zoom calls that he was a part of.
Ziggy was talking about
Yeah,
it.
Ziggy would. That's one of the persons that I heard it from, and I'm like, wait, no one's talking about this. And if you say anything about Gary V, some people will unfollow you. Some people will make nasty comments. I mean, his marketing, I'll give him props, is about
Yeah,
being positive.
yeah.
But how does that, help you in terms of, hey, determining which cards you should look for, which cards you shouldn't look for? Is he using that as an aspect to buy V friends? Just be positive.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I was reading
Mhm.
somebody's. It's a Michael Ham.
Yeah, I met him the
Yeah.
other day.
Shout out, Mike.
Yeah, what's
I
going
get
on,
it.
Mike?
Like if people are fans, I get it. It's just for me. I don't know. I don't know. You can argue that, and I don't think you're wrong. It's just from my perspective. It's like the dude just gets on and says the most generic, inspirational shit and says "fuck" 100 times. Like I just don't. It's not my cup of tea. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, dude, I
exactly.
get it. I mean, a shout out for him being there every day. But from what
Yeah, I
I
mean,
saw, everything I saw, he was at a booth with his V cards or whatever they're
yeah, he was
called.
at his booth.
I don't.
I was thinking, should I go there? But then what am I going to say? Hey, did you take the idea of Karen Ritchie?
I just find it weird that
Which
like
is weird. Like all these grown men, like, okay, you want to shake his hand saying, hey, I like what you're doing, fine, whatever. But then it's just the excessiveness. It's like, oh, Gary V, Gary V. I didn't get into cards because of Gary V. I got into cards on my own. But
I
I don't
think
know.
he was there every day to market his V cards and sell his V cards. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not. He has every right to, but I have every right to
Yeah, he has
kind of
every
look at
right
it
to.
and think that's kind of I think it's douchey. That's just
Like,
not for me.
and then some of the people associated with them. Oh my god,
It's just
they're like
everybody put their
pumpers.
camera
Some of
up
them.
to him, and it was like, "Oh, I've been waiting
Yeah.
forever to do this reel with Gary Vee," and it's like, "Bro, you're a grown man. Like, come on. What are you doing, bro?"
I mean, I saw Mama Breaks. I'm not picking on her, but she seemed to get a little emotional, when she was next to Gary Vee saying, "Hey, look at Mama Breaks. She took a risk and, she made it," or something like that. And if,
I can't remember if I saw that.
yeah,
I don't know.
I,
Hey, if it makes people happy, they have every
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I got every
exactly.
right to look at it and think like, "Yep, I think that's corny."
Yeah, exactly. And once I started going after Gary Vee, called out shill baiting, that's when people started coming after me. Usually it was like high fives, everyone's like getting along during the pandemic. And then I saw that shift. I'm like, what's going on here? So I don't know. It's weird. Definitely weird.
I get he was there the whole time, Mike, and shout out for being, comment, dude. I always appreciate everybody's insight.
Yeah, and it was nice meeting you at the National, Mike.
Oh, did you meet him?
Yeah, I saw him. Like, didn't you see the video that I
Why do
did?
I know this name, Mike Ham?
Michael Ham. He has a YouTube channel. He used to comment a lot in my videos in the past.
Oh,
And
dude,
then
he's buddies with Flippin' Steve
Steve and Dustin
Nia,
and
right?
Yeah, yeah, they were all
Oh,
yeah,
my bad, Mike. I didn't even put two and two together, dude. My fault, brother. I know Neo, and I bullshit with Flippin' Steve here and there, but thanks for
yeah,
being here, Mike. Sorry, I didn't put it all together. But yeah, I get he was there. That's what I was gonna say. I cut myself off. I get he was there the whole time. It seems like if he's ever has any type of like involvement in the hobby, it's kind of for self, which hey, he has every right to do. To me, I look at it differently, I guess.
yeah. The thing about what I noticed about Gary Vee, so they're selling those boxes through what's that brand? Is it Zero Cool or whatever?
Yeah, zero the V
So last year, I was talking about the boxes. I thought, hey, those are shill bid. And you know what I noticed? Some people were selling empty boxes for like 10, 20, $30. Now, what will be happening down the road if these go up in value and these boxes have nothing in them? I think what people are doing, they're just selling the boxes like the real boxes. They got it for $30 and they're selling for like thousands of dollars. I think that's what's going on.
It
I
could be.
think like,
There are possibly people that do actually collect the boxes of these things. Like,
yeah,
I'll be
I
honest, like if I had
understand
an
that.
86 Fleer box to like just have and put on display, even if it was empty, you know what I mean? Like, I would probably pick one up because that's a cool, like, it's iconic just from the idea, like, hey, 86 Fleer sets, like, it's like the most famous basketball set. So, like, if I could get
Yep.
my hands on, like, so maybe they're thinking down the road, it's maybe a collector's piece, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to look at glass half full. I feel like I went ham on Michael Ham. I shouldn't have
Yeah.
reacted like
Yeah, he
I didn't
had good coverage
I
on
let it come
the
off as a
hanky.
dick.
He had good coverage on the hanky panky going on. I think at CC2's trade night, where the security guards were taking bribes allegedly.
Oh damn.
Yeah, from little kids.
Yeah, dude. What the?
I don't know what's up with people,
That's
man.
we got some wild stuff in this hobby.
Yeah, yeah. Pancake Analytics. Rahul and I had a top-notch breakfast. Yep. Thanks to P Ryan.
Didn't you literally get to watch pancakes eat pancakes?
Pancakes. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it was like that was the highlight of the show. I'm like,
that
wait.
was it. That
Yeah.
has to be it.
I
Shout
mean,
out pancakes.
Like P Ryan made that observation. Wait, you're eating pancakes right in front of me? But yeah, that was nice. But yeah, at full disclosure, P Ryan brought me a $10 lunch. So if someone calls me a shill, okay, fine.
Oh come on.
Non-material expense, and Pancake Analytics paid for the Uber ride. Okay,
If
I'm
pancakes,
a paid shill now. I'm
yeah.
paid off and bought off.
Pancakes needs to come out with his own syrup.
Yeah,
Me and Pancakes should collab on a special Splenda sweetener. Well, no,
yeah. I know what you
we
should
go to
call
jail
it.
for that actually because Splenda sweetener is already a thing.
You know
But
what
we
you
should
should
come up
call
with
it.
a Splenda sweet pancake syrup.
I would call the syrup gatekeeping.
You would. You would.
Yeah. Hey, take a hold of this. Well, I'll be back in a minute.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Me
Where did you leave up? Let me find the last comment. Pancakes.
man.
All right. Collector's dream. Ham is the man. Yeah, dude. Now that I put two and two together, sorry about that, Mike. I for some reason I had like a big old brain fart. Who all in the comments? Who all in the chat was at the National? And who all ran into Raul? Did anybody run into Raul there? Or anybody have any fire pickups from the National? I had FOMO so bad not being at the National this year. So I was like scoping everybody's stories and all the cases that all the dealers had posted, just going through all the stuff I couldn't in person try to go after. Spurs cards, you ran into them? Hell yeah. You would get along with my brother's Spurs card. He's a huge Tim Duncan fan and collects the most Tim Duncan patches. In fact, he just sent me one the other day. But yeah, I just continually was going through stories, looking for stuff. So I had FOMO bad missing out. So that's why when I saw that one dude who had the amazing, flawless basketball selection, as soon as like that Monday after, I got a hold of him. I was like, "Hey, man, I was going through your stories and I saw you had all of these awesome flawless. Do you have any KDs left?" He sent me some and was able to make a trade. So even fighting my FOMO, I was able to kind of participate, even though it wasn't there. I got a trade done with an awesome dealer who made everything super easy. It was a super easy deal. Let me go through this. That was my pancakes. That was my national goal sponsor, AIH. Sounds like you sponsored him, Tom. You were buying him breakfast and Ubers and all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to catch up with what everybody's talking about. Who's your brother? My brother is Splenda Signatures on Instagram. So he's got a bunch of Tim Duncan stuff. Huge Tim Duncan fan. I agree, Warlock. I'm hungry for pancakes now too. Not Tom, but actual pancakes. How was like for everybody that was at the National, how was dealing with dealers at the show? Like, were people overpriced? Were things fairly priced? Was it were you able to negotiate deals and stuff? I was just asking the chat about how deals were getting down at the National. Like, were vendors overpriced? Were dealers easy to negotiate with? Like, what were the vibes? What
The
did you
vibe.
think?
I really didn't buy too much. As you know, maybe I'll show some of the collection that I've been stacking, or I may speculate in the coming months ahead. But it's TTM stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I got Dick Vitale.
Dickie V.
Yep. I looked at some of the autographs online after the whole sports card radio chasing cardboard situation. I'm like, hey, do these resemble the PSA ones that have been authenticated? So it looked like it, but once it comes closer to selling, then I'll do that. Got here Jim Rice. I showed this the other day in my video.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's nice.
Yeah, his autograph was pretty nice.
That's a clean auto for like a smaller block to sign on.
Exactly.
That's
I mean,
clean.
I paid him $20, so he better sign well.
Yeah.
No, but
Sign
all
my
jokes
shit
ahead.
right, bitch.
No, but all jokes aside, he had a very clean autograph. I really appreciated him for doing that. You got a Fair Hooker.
Fairly Hooker.
Did you see this Instagram account? It just followed me. Maybe I'm going to tell you about this. Maybe people in the chat can tell me if you follow this guy. But I never heard of this guy until today. It's called Dicks and Funny Athletes names. And then he had like one of them. He just has a collection. This guy named Chubby Cox.
Now that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And then he has this one guy. His name is, I may be butchering it. It's I think Brazilian. Argelikio Fox. I'm looking for this dude. He's a coach in Brazil. I'm
You
looking.
sent me that earlier. That's
Yeah,
right.
I did.
You sent me
I'm
that
look.
one earlier.
I'm looking for this card. I couldn't find it on eBay. I couldn't find it on ComC. Anyone, can you show this dude? I may have to zoom in. May have to do two screens moving forward. I have another screen now, but this is and on Wikipedia, his last name is spelled Fuchs, but then
That's
his wife's
awesome.
and then his wife's name, his spouse says Fucks. So
That's
I
awesome.
found, yeah, that's nice. Some other cards I got. What's it? Marv Albert autographed.
Oh, okay. Man, I didn't see that one. Usually, did you post that?
Yeah, it's on IG.
Oh man, I must have missed that one.
Yep.
I like Marv Albert. He's
Yep.
got some hanky panky in his past.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing. He messed up, allegedly.
Hey, you brought up my Bonds, so I had to bring
Yeah,
up Marv
you gotta
Albert.
call me out. Yeah, that's
I
true.
got to.
Yeah, you gotta call me out. It's just fair game. What is this? Bill Post, the guy who invented Pop-Tarts.
Hell yeah.
Doug Collins, he coached MJ before Phil. His problem was he didn't. He made it a one-man show with Jordan. He didn't use other people. That was a problem.
Honestly, his biggest problem was that they put Phil on that staff behind him. Once they saw Phil, I think they knew. They were like, "Man, we don't need Doug."
Yeah, I mean, Phil, he used Tex Winter's triangle scheme. That's what propelled him.
And Doug like fought against that for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
he wouldn't hear Tex out from what I've gathered. If I remember that documentary right, Doug wasn't like keen on that system.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Tex, you know what I mean? Didn't want him around talking too much.
Right. I want to. He says, Scottie Pippen bitter much? I don't blame Scottie Pippen. I was talking to my buddy John. I think you've seen him on my podcast here before. And the thing is, Scottie Pippen, yeah, he signed a bad contract. That's what's on him.
Yeah.
But, you know, he took a lot of abuse during, the Bulls runs, with the Pistons of the 80s, late 80s. I was too young to remember it, but he took a lot of heat for it, Yeah, he got a good contract when he went to Houston. But when I see things like his son died young, at the age of 30 something, that's a tragedy.
I didn't know his son died.
Yeah, one of his son died. And then his ex-wife, Larsa, she's dating Michael Jordan's son.
I do know about that.
That's just messed up, I used to bash Scottie Pippen. I used to say he's nuts, when he went after Phil Jackson. But, I mean, he accused Phil Jackson of being racist. I didn't agree with that. But, I did read that one book from Phil Jackson where he did tell his team, just to loosen up, let's act like monkeys. Today that would have been, construed as something offensive. So I don't know if he's talking about that incident, but I think I'll defend Scottie Pippen today compared to back in the day because, he's been through a lot and he did a lot for the team, even though a lot of people don't like him.
I will say this, like, I agree, but I think he's soft. And I think if it wasn't for Jordan, Scottie would have never been a top 50 to 70.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely agree. Jordan
talks about Jordan not being great and stuff. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that's wrong,
You sound just bitter.
You just sound bitter. I think in
past he quit on his team in like
coach. Yeah.
And like to Phil's credit, Phil felt it. Like he ran that team, and without Jordan being there, like Phil was the guy. Like I know he's just a coach, but like that just should prove it's like okay, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like
Tony, and it worked.
Tony Kukoc, that was an amazing shot.
And like as a competitive guy, if I was on a team and one of our best players like shut it down in the biggest moment like that,
Yeah, I
I
mean, you would
there
lose
would
a
be a
lot of
fight.
people.
There would
Yeah,
be
I
a
mean,
fight.
but he was Scottie Pippen. He was, one of the top players in the league. So they're like, we'll let it go. But if
I'd
it
have
was an
I'd have
average Joe
fought
that
him.
quit on the team, you're gone.
I'd
You're
have
you're gone. I remember Carlos Zambrano quit on the Cubs in 2011, 2012. Theo Epstein, it's like, nah, I'm not tolerating you. We're trading you to the Marlins.
you just don't quit.
You don't quit. You don't like call out your teammates. Not call it, but you just don't act like that. But once again, I'll still defend Scottie Pippen because he was a
I'm
big
only
part of the
giving you this
90s.
pushback because of your bonds. You came after
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
You
came at, it's
you
fair
get
game.
aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying you don't like Big Pharma, so
No,
I'm
but
just
he's
pointing that.
not telling everybody they have to do the big pharma. There's a big difference.
Right.
Just because he pumps himself up with it. Hey, you do what you want.
Do you think they're
And he
pumping
was in an
themselves up
and he was in an
today?
era where everybody and their mama was doing it. Let's be honest. There's probably the overwhelming majority of the league throughout the 90s was probably using some type of performance enhancer. I mean, it was rampant. Bud Selig knew.
How the hell did
Am I cutting off or are you cutting
he
off?
just look the other way? No, no,
I
no, no,
didn't hear
no.
you. You cut
So
off for a
how
second.
did can you hear me?
I can now.
Hey, buddy. You can now. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
How the hell did Greg Maddux pitch the way he did
Bro,
in the 90s?
he was the Bob
That's
Ross.
just insane.
He was the Bob Ross of pitchers, bro. He painted corners like Bob Ross. He had such control. Like he wasn't like Clemens or Randy Johnson where he was like this powerful, this he would overpower like Pedro when he was in Boston. Like they used to overpower guys. Like Maddox wasn't like that. He only had like 2 or 3 pitches, but his control and he could hit spots, man. I mean, he was probably my favorite pitcher to watch at that time. The
Oh
90s
yeah.
coming
Oh
up,
yeah.
he was the bulldog. I know he was, a Cubby, and then he went to the
Yeah,
Braves.
he won.
That's
Yeah, I didn't
that's when I
remember him as
really
a
remember
Cub.
him as a Brave.
Right.
Him,
Yeah, I mean
Smoltz, um,
Glavin.
Glavine, yeah, they were loaded, and they only won 1 ring.
One World Series ring. It's like how the hell you only win one ring. It's like the Cubs with their draft system or the guys they drafted, they only won one World Series. I know you don't watch baseball anymore,
Not
but
anymore.
yeah,
I wanna bring
you
the
don't.
steroids back, man. Make baseball fun again.
I mean, they have Shohei Ohtani. Are you into that or?
Tatis he juices up, doesn't he? Or got in trouble, or I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Cubs game when San Diego was in town. They were booing the crap out of
Oh,
him.
yeah.
That was interesting.
So what's
Interesting.
worse? What do you think is worse? Getting caught using performance enhancers or like the Astros getting caught with their scandal?
So here's a caveat. So my buddy John, he has had contact with people in Houston, with some people that were tied to it. And what information he got was a lot of teams were cheating
Yeah.
and the Astros got busted. And there were reports that you could see online that there are other teams accused of cheating. Like I think the Yankees cheated, but nothing happened to them.
Mhm.
There's an article about that. And I just think that they may have gone after the Astros. Remember Justin Verlander was talking a lot of crap about Manfred and I think it was the baseballs. Do you
Mhm.
remember that?
Yep.
So I think it had to deal with, hey, how do I shut up Justin Verlander and the Astros? Let's do this. That's my tinfoil hat conspiracy. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. It seems like anybody who goes after
The
MLB
the
come
the
back
elite.
harder.
Oh yeah, if you go after the elite, right? Be it politics, sports cards, whatever, there will be pushback.
Yeah. Which, you're asking for it to a degree, but it's crazy because the sheep then come.
Yeah, I mean, I see Verlander was cheater, I don't know if he cheated per se. I think what was weird was his buddy the year after, Garrett Cole. I don't know if you consider it cheating, but his spin rate got better because I believe he was using spider tack. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so a lot of baseball players they were using spider tack, so their spin rate got better, and they could
Right.
hit their spots better. It happened, I think,
Well,
with Trevor Bauer. It happened with Verlander. So once that happened,
I knew
they
that was
were just
widespread.
unhittable.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard it was getting widespread. I mean, that's why they're doing all these pitcher checks, like when they're coming
yeah,
off
exactly.
the mound and stuff. Like I have noticed that. Man,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I
I,
mean. Like baseball, this stuff has been going on in baseball for a long time.
oh yeah, exactly. I mean, they
Why
used
you
to.
why you shitting on Bond so hard then, man?
I just like giving you crap. I do agree. Like of all the people in the steroid era, I think Bond should be one of the only ones in the Hall of Fame
Yeah, I think Bond,
because he would be
Clemens,
Clemens. This should be in there with an asterisk. But then they have this rule. Okay, Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame. Shoeless Joe Jackson not in the Hall of Fame. So we
and
have
the
to be
and the
consistent.
baseball writers who vote, like they're super like
Yeah, I mean
horseshit.
they didn't bring in what's his name, Schilling. Schilling should be in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame, but they
Schilling should
won't
be in
because
there. I don't think he got caught up with any
no, no,
PED.
no, he didn't cheat, but
Yeah,
I'm just
his was
saying that it's because
political.
of his politics. That's
Yeah.
why he's not in. It's like some people say, "Hey, uh, people should have the right to speak their mind in politics." And I'm like, "Yeah, they have the right, but you have to see the repercussions coming from that." My channel, I bring it in once in a while, but I'm not sponsored. If I'm sponsored, I have to shut the hell up. You know. All right, let's take a look at this. Was Bonds being the best player ever? He was going to be a great player. I think Griffey
Can
was
I
going to
be
be the best.
honest? I don't know if he would be on his way to be the best ever, but he would have been in the conversation even
Oh
before
yeah,
that last
yeah,
stint in San Fran from like what would have been like 35 to 38, 39,
yeah,
whatever it was. Um, I mean, he was in Pittsburgh for how many years? He won multiple MVPs. He helped them
yeah.
get to a World Series. Now, I granted he
Right.
didn't play well in the World Series, but like he then went to San Fran, helped them go to a World Series. Like he didn't win it in San Fran. I get it, but like I don't know. I saw I think a comment from was it Petty?
Yeah, yeah,
Petty? Yeah, I understand why people don't like Bonds, and not only the PED stuff. Like he was a dick. Like he was a jackass. He was shitty with his teammates. He was shitty with his managers. Like he was shitty with the media. Like I get why people don't like him, but in Petty's comments, I agree. He's probably the best hitter I've ever seen in
yeah.
my
His
life.
swing, whose swing I really liked was Ken Griffey
Oh, for sure.
Jr.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
the smoothest swing. He didn't cheat, right? He played the game right. I think he was a bit too aggressive in the outfield because he
yeah,
would have gotten Hank
it
Aaron's
cost
record.
him because by the
Yeah, I
time he
mean,
got to Cincinnati, his legs were giving out.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think
I,
Griffey
if
would
there's
have.
one guy that I would like, as far now, I can't go back. I didn't watch the old timers, and I
Yeah,
don't mean to like disrespect the old timers, but like I'm to the belief, in my opinion, I think Barry Bonds is the best baseball player ever. Now, steroids or not, just let's pretend we're not talking about steroids or anything. Even though a lot of that era and those guys in the league who were at their top peaks were also on steroids. And he was
yeah,
batting against those pitchers like Gagne and these guys who were definitely on steroids and
Yeah,
Clemens.
Gagne was on steroids.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the best of the best were all doing it, and he was still outperforming them.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
you're saying that if everyone's cheating, right? Vast majority, and you're doing the best, you have the most talent.
Yeah,
That's what I
right.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. He was
Yeah.
still amongst his peers. Like, take it to the Pittsburgh days. He was a multiple time MVP. He was
Right.
at the best amongst his peers then. Then going into the mid to late 90s after the strike when steroids I mean, it started becoming obvious. You see all these guys getting bigger. He was still that much better than all the guys with steroids. And like if you think about it, there were guys
Yeah.
who had a head up on like McGuire, Sosa. There were guys who had a leg up on him juicing. Then he finally caught on, and I think he was just leveling. He's like, listen, if you guys are going to do it, Look what
that
I
I'm gonna
can
do.
do when I'm on
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Now,
think that's
agreed. Like two wrongs don't make a right. Now, I'm
yeah,
not
exactly.
justifying it,
He's like,
but
wait, what the hell? If you're doing it, like, what
I
the
mean,
hell?
the dude. Now, I agree with you. Griffey's swing
It was
was
sweet,
the
best.
smoothest, sweetest swing, effortless. It
Right,
almost looked
right,
effortless.
right.
Bonds had this violent, like I was lucky enough to watch him in Cincinnati one year. My dad, my brother, and I, because my brother was a big Griffey fan. My dad loved Bonds, so we
Right.
went and watched the San Fran play in Cincinnati one year. I'm in Ohio,
Yeah.
so we got to see Griffey and Bonds, and it was the home run record year. And Bonds took one out deep center. And dude, I'm telling you, we were at the top. We were sitting in like nosebleeds, but we were so happy to be. Dude, we could have been sitting in the parking lot. We were just happy to be there. And like, bro, I got to see Bonds hit one his home run record year. And like just watching the excitement on my dad, because that like my dad loved Bonds. He loved Clemente
Right.
and Bonds. And
Right.
like just experiencing that was so awesome in his home run record year. And dude, it sounded like a gun went off. When he hit his, like it just sounded different.
Yeah. I was doing an internship in San Fran at that time, and I remember going to that stadium. I forget what it's called, and the crowd was electric. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Barry Bonds! This is amazing." Me being from Chicago, I'm like, "Hey, this dude's cheating, man." But I still love the atmosphere there. It was fantastic just to be at that stage. Now, what do you think Hank Aaron's? I forget what Hank Aaron's thought of Barry Bonds. I
He
mean, he
probably thought he was
congrat,
he probably thought he was a dick. Because
but he
Barry
didn't
Barry
want to
was
go
a
after.
dick, even amongst his peers. Now, I know he was close with Willie Mays, that was his godfather. I think
Yeah,
Reggie Jackson was a cousin of his family. So there's probably people who would say good things about Bonds, but I think the most people would talk shit on Bonds out of jealousy and the fact that Bonds was a dick.
do you agree with this? Bonds the best player I've ever seen. No close second. I'd say Griffey.
I think that's what I was going to get back to my point earlier. Like, if there's one guy who, if Griffey could have stayed healthy,
Yeah,
I think Griffey and Bonds are like 1A, 1B. I think, man, that's so hard. If Griffey could have stayed healthy, I think
yeah,
Griffey may have been able to say 1A,
yeah.
possibly. But because
That's
of
what
the
I would
injuries,
say.
I think Bonds is the best player. I mean, their talent, I think those are the two most talented baseball players we've ever seen. And
Oh yeah,
because of Griffey's health, he's just not. It's not the same. And then you could argue, well, with Bond's, suspicion of PED use, like he's not. There's an argument to be had there. For me, I think Bonds is the best player I've ever seen play.
yeah,
Griffey kind of lost a step into his mid-30s because of the injuries. It just wasn't the
yeah.
same. While
Right.
Bonds was still hitting like 55 to 70 home runs a year.
Imagine if Ken Griffey used steroids.
Oh, see, that's the one. Because
That
if you
that would
remember
that
the home run races with Sosa and McGuire, like Griffey was right there.
yeah,
Who was the
and he
dude in
didn't.
Arizona at the time who was like he was a good player, but like you could tell he was juicing? Luis Gonzalez. He was hitting a bunch of home runs out of nowhere.
I think he cheated, right?
Yeah, he was definitely on steroids. But if you look, Griffey was on par with all those guys, and I don't think Griffey was using.
Yeah, I think Griffey was clean. And what else? I think looking today, I know you don't watch baseball. People say Shohei Ohtani's the GOAT. I'm like, hey, this dude needs to play, more years. We'll
Now,
see what he's made of after his big contract.
I'm
And
open to the discussion with Shohei. Like, yeah, we're talking about arguably the most versatile baseball player we've ever seen. But I'm
in
not
our
ready. I'm not
lifetime,
ready to say, "Oh, he's the goat." It's just he
mm,
does this. Like he's the goat. I can't say that yet. You have to have
uh,
some longevity. Like if I'm going to
exactly,
hold Griffey, his injuries against him, like I can't just crown Shohei the goat right yet. He's got to
exactly. And like
do.
Babe Ruth used to do this too. I mean, he
Uh,
switched though from a pitcher to a batter though. He didn't
I
do
don't
both at the
know
same
if
time.
the pitching was at the level of Shohei. I'm not sure. I'm not as
It's
familiar with
not. There weren't
pitching
that
as
many
the
teams
Nats.
back then.
Right. I mean,
And
Shohei. It's hard to compare Shohei to anybody. That's the thing. Like he's like one of a kind. It's
yeah,
like Pat Mahomes right now. Like Pat Mahomes isn't Brady yet, but Brady didn't have this type of success this early. Like 2 Super
Well,
Bowls, 4 consecutive AFC championships, like
well, hold up. So Brady won in 2001, right?
yeah.
And then he won again, what, oh three, oh four, or oh
Mhm.
four or 05? So we're looking at the same trajectory, right?
Not numbers wise though.
Numbers wise, yeah, Mahomes is on a different
But, like,
planet.
let's
Like,
be honest, like,
he's the better
I get it,
athlete.
yeah, you're right, he had 2 Super Bowls in his earliest years. I
3
don't know if
Super
he made it to
Bowls.
this
3
many
Super
AFC
Bowls.
championships or not, I'd have to go back, but I mean, I just think the way Pat Mahomes is doing this now, granted, the league is totally different, you know what I
The
mean?
league
Like,
is so
we're in
I
a
mean,
league
it's
of half
more friendly towards quarterbacks, but then
right,
someone could argue that, hey, look, Tom Brady had it easier because every time they roughed the passer, that was a flag. How would Joe Montana be in a situation where if they're more friendly to quarterbacks?
right.
Just throwing that as a
If
what if.
honestly, if we're throwing names out there with this quarterback thing, like, if Dan Marino got to play in today's NFL, holy shit. He was doing this type of stuff back when it wasn't even like you didn't throw the ball 30, 40, 50 times back then. He was doing it. I think
Yeah,
Dan
yeah, yeah.
Marino is one of those guys that if he played in today's game would be insane.
Yeah, Marino would be on a different planet, but I think the trend right now is going towards athletes, towards better athletes, such as Mahomes, right? Such as Josh Allen or a Herbert, where they can run and they can throw. Now, that's not sustainable long term, in my opinion. And because if you can constantly run, you're gonna get banged up. Look at what happened to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's now out of the NFL, but he was just one dimensional. He could
Mhm.
run.
That's where I would say, like, guys like Mahomes and Josh Allen who do run around a lot,
They can
like,
throw the ball well.
they can throw the yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if it comes to a point where you know who they I'm a Big Ben fan because I'm a Steelers fan, but, like, when Big Ben was young, he could move around. I think people forget he wasn't the best athlete, but he could move around. He extended plays, took big hits to, like, get the get to a certain spot to extend a play and make throws, like and then you saw once his mobility became limited, like, Ben had to do his 2-minute drill stuff from the pocket all the time, and he was able to I mean, he didn't win another Super Bowl towards the back end of his career, but he was able to do it. But that's how these guys are. Like they're able to move around, but when their time comes where it's like they're not going to be running around or nearly as mobile, they'll kill you from the pocket. Like
Oh, yeah.
they got
Oh, yeah.
cannons.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Alright, let's look at all the comments, man. Oh, yeah, speaking of Canseco admitted, and exposed the PED scandal, I got an autograph, I don't have it on me right now, but I got the autograph of George Mitchell. Do you remember who George Mitchell
Yeah.
was?
Yep.
Yeah. It took a while for him to send it back to me, but he sent it, so the guy who, had the Mitchell report for guys that are too young.
The Mitchell
Big
report.
Big Ben definitely got around. Lots of hanky panky. He was
Super
accused of
Hank.
rape.
A lot of Hankus Pankus with Big Ben. I'm not gonna act like he's some saint.
Yeah, dude,
I'm a Steeler
he's
fan,
lucky.
so
He's
I'm gonna
lucky
go
he's
T.O.
alive.
That's my quarterback.
He's lucky he's alive. Remember he got off that motorcycle accident?
Motorcycle accident. Yeah, dude. He might Big Ben was reckless. Like I'm not gonna act like he's
Yeah, he's accused of rape.
yeah.
He was
Couple times, I think.
couple times.
I want to say
Damn.
twice. I don't know.
Do you
I've
think
heard
these
so many
athletes?
different things about that. I don't know,
Do you think these athletes have to sign like contracts with these
bro.
women now?
If I was any like a rapper, a musician, an actor, entertainer, athlete, like I would have like right by my bedstand next to my rubbers would be an NDA. Every woman, like before anything starts, sign this NDA. I don't
Yeah.
know because it's such a weird predict. Like you have
Is it-
situations where I'm 100% sure guys abuse their power. I'm not,
Oh yeah,
you know
there
what I
there
mean? Like
has
that
to be.
happens. But now we're starting to see like what was the actor? Oh jeez, Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Look what happened with him and that Heard
that
chick.
chick.
Like she's
Yeah,
batshit nuts. So it's like it's hard to. I
I
don't know.
mean,
It's
I mean,
weird.
you can't, yeah, believe all the people out there. that make these accusations.
Yeah, it's
But I don't. Yeah, at this point, but I do think that there are people that are celebrities, athletes we were talking about earlier. They have dirt on them,
yeah.
and they're
Well,
blackmailed, and
well,
they
I
got
don't
to
think
play a
it's
certain role.
yeah, I think it's the people above them who have the dirt. You know what I mean? I don't think it's
They
like
have the dirt, so they say, "Hey, you got to say this." They're like,
yeah.
"Do I have to?" Well, do you want this exposed on you?
I
Do
mean,
you want to
I'm
get
not gonna
ruined?
bring up the certain person in his island, but hey,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
that's
said,
stuff.
this shit happens. Like
This stuff happens. You
you
like
need to
Robert
see who's on
Kraft.
those lists. Like
I mean, allegedly Robert Kraft got a massage, right? And then that got
rub and
thrown out the
tug
window.
down in South Florida.
I was actually freaking out that time because it's in Florida and Jeter lived there, and I had a bunch of Jeter cars, and I'm like, "Oh God, I hope Jeter's not on this list. I hope Jeter's not on this list."
Please,
I was
Jeter,
like,
don't be on the rub and tug list.
"Yeah, don't be on this list, man. Don't be on this list. I got to make money off of this." This was like pre-pandemic, and I sold like most of them, but yeah, he was at
I
the
I
National.
have to give you props real quick because I'm reading part of the chat too. Like that 3 to 5 minutes you left me hanging. Like I could. There's no way I could keep up with chats and do a live stream.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know. The
way
chat
too low
gets
IQ.
wild.
There's
The
no
chat
way.
gets wild sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think Rolling with FD commented, he says, like, man, when you're on, the chat gets going. I'm like, I don't even have that many people on. And, people are just
It's good
chatting away.
times. I appreciate everybody. It's just like that 3 to 5 minutes. I was like, I'm just gonna go off the chat. I'm just reading. It's like it's another. I'm like, holy shit! Like, how do you keep
Yeah,
up
no,
with this?
I don't know, man. I guess people like to talk. I mean, like
Shout
Sports
out
Point
Michael.
Radio.
Shout out Michael Ham again. Bonds, the most feared hitter ever. I would agree with that. And I'm not just saying it as a fan.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think there was a dude who stepped in the box who like got everybody out of their seat and like put the fear of God in pitchers.
right.
I'm
And
like
then,
way behind on chat. That's why I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like I'm
yeah,
like
you
pushing
can say whatever
conversation.
you want.
But
There's,
I'm interested in some of the stuff people are saying.
yeah, I mean, I didn't get to some of the other comments. Someone asked about curator earlier, and I saw Murley there.
Murley's
Shift
in
his
here?
name. No, I saw Murley at the
Oh,
National.
you
Yeah,
know what? That's cool that you guys were cordial and everything. I'm glad that's what I told you, bro. Odds are people are going to be way more cool in person because
cool.
everybody's like, it's like being at Disneyland for cardboard card nerds. Like,
Yeah,
and I say that as somebody who wished I got to partake in that nerdom. But
right.
most people are going to be cool in person. Like nobody wants to
Yeah,
pretend.
mostly, yeah, no one was starting stuff.
Like
Actually, one,
at the end of the day, we're all here to collect cardboard pieces of pictures of men.
right. I
Like
think,
we can all like get together behind that.
exactly, and I think there was one thing where I think Bargain Boxer said something to the curator, but that's about it that I heard. And to Jeff Wilson, that's about it.
I'm not gonna act like I'm like some holier without than somebody else. I'm not. There
Yeah.
are probably certain people like Gary V. I wouldn't go around that table, and I'm not. I'm not better than anybody. But it's
Yeah,
just like,
I
I would
decided
not
not to
even.
go to him. I
I wouldn't
decided
go
not to go
around
to.
that. I just that's just not my.
Yeah.
You know, man. Mike's
Yeah.
dropping
Yeah.
heat. Gwynn and Maddox are the most underrated Hall of Fame players.
Yeah, man.
I
Maybe Mike, if you want to come on.
I agree.
Y-
I agree.
Yeah,
Now,
maybe
my
Mike,
brother and
since
I
you're
get in an
chatting. Yeah,
argument
DM
all
me.
the time about Gwynn
Wait,
and
what
Bonds.
happened? What happened?
Me and my brother get in this argument about Tony Gwynn all the time. This is what I'd say. Like, we have this argument based on who's the greatest hitter ever. I always say
Yeah.
it's Bonds. He says
Right.
Gwynn. And like based off of the percentages and numbers and stuff like that, like, yes, I understand how absolutely consistent Tony Gwynn was. But I can't say somebody who was a career singles hitter is better overall than Barry Bonds. Like Bonds had the chance to like take you out of the park. He batted around 300. Like Gwynn was probably closer to 330, 340 as far as his lifetime average. Like I get it, but Tony Gwynn was like a career singles doubles hitter, which there's nothing wrong with it. But if I'm going to crown somebody the greatest hitter ever, I can't give it to somebody who's just like a singles hitter. You know what I mean? Is that a and it's not to diminish Gwynn because I agree he's super underrated.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
never struck out.
Gwynn was solid as a
Yeah,
hitter. I really liked watching him play as a kid. You know, I didn't even know that Tony Gwynn passed away until a few years ago. I'm like, wait, he
yeah,
died a
he
while
looks
back.
he
Yeah,
looks
it's
at it
messed
like,
up.
and
I'm
he
like,
didn't
wow.
talk about it. I didn't even know he was sick, bro. All
Yeah,
right,
he used to announce on ESPN, and then I saw, wait, why isn't Tony Gwynn announcing anymore? Like, what's going on with Tony Gwynn? I just tried to look into it, and I was like, oh wow, he passed away.
John. Steroids did not make Barry Bonds better. It was the body armor. I agree with John. Could you imagine being a pitcher and Barry Bond walks up? He's got all that armor on, just looking like a straight gladiator, and he's just you knew it was going to happen,
His swing was intimidating. I'm
bro.
like,
It was just so violent,
yeah, I know. It's like,
and his hips, the way he just it was so quick how he could turn, and he even choked
right,
up on the bat like a guy that big and strong. You usually don't need to choke up on the
choke up,
bat,
right.
but he would choke up on the. It was like you're not going to get a fastball past him. Like it's
No,
not going to happen. Eric
no.
Gagne in his prime wasn't blowing one by him. Randy
Mm,
Johnson in his prime was not blowing one by him.
I know we talked about this before, but I think the bases were loaded one time, and they intentionally walked him.
Yeah, it's happened. I mean, and then
Yeah.
that's another thing that I would hold like in my brother and I's argument as far as like Michael said, send him the link.
Yeah, I'm
As
gonna
far as
send
like
it to him. I'm gonna
my
send it to him right
argument
now.
with my brother with Tony Gwynn versus Bonds, like just like to your point on intentionally walking him. Bonds was put so much fear in teams where it's like if you look at the amount of at bats he didn't get and still put up the numbers he did, it's absolutely insane to think about like how good Bonds really was.
Right,
And
right.
like that's that to me that has nothing to do with steroids. Like there's not many guys who were ever on steroids that coveted that type of like intimidation from the opposite team where they're like, "We're bases loaded. We'll just walk Bonds." You know what I mean? Like no, like Bonds might get like 1 to 2 at bats a game because they were just going to intentionally walk him so many times.
Right. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I didn't really watch Michael's videos that much in the past. I always seen in the comments section that I
I,
met him in person. So
I've watched a few of them. It's been a while. I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't get to see any. I'm curious to see what he has to say about National because he said he was
yeah,
there.
yeah, because I bumped into him that one time we are hanging out. So I just sent that to him.
All right, let me blow my nose real fast, bro. My
Okay.
nose is big. I was cutting grass the other day, and like my allergies, even it's in the middle of summer, my allergies are still bothering me.
Lovely. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How's it going?
Good, good, good.
Making sure I don't have
So
any echo here or anything. Do I sound all right?
yeah, you sound well. You sound
All
well.
right, cool.
And then Steve, Mike's joined on.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome.
So what were your I know you did a stream with Justin and Flipping Steve, I think maybe another person, and Neo, I think.
Neo. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Neo. So what were your thoughts from the National for those that didn't watch?
It's just, I mean, the majority of the thing everybody's complaining about the heat, obviously, and then the confusion or lack of direction on where to go to get to anywhere. Realistically, if you're looking for a table, a sponsor, a booth, whatever it may be, the bathroom, it didn't really matter. Not having any type of a map laid out that you could walk up to. Gym 10 did do a good job with the map on their app. And they do a good job with their app because I didn't even know about them until this national. So good for them. They did a good marketing thing. But they did also post a map that you're like, oh, I'm going to walk up and look at this. And then all the numbers are fuzzed out. So you have to get the app to look at it. So I was like, oh, I'm going up to look at this thing. And I'm like, do I need glasses? Nope. They fuzzed it all out. Better with planning and layout and then letting us know what's going on. I think was the biggest failure other than the heat for sure.
Did you get any
Everything
nice
else was
pickup?
fantastic. I mean, everybody had a great time. Dealers were
Oh
doing
yeah, it was
great.
a fun show.
I
Definitely
mean,
fun.
I mean, I talked to somebody that's been to the last 10 nationals, and he's an old guy. He's like, this was the best national I've ever been to. And I didn't expect that from him. I figured he'd be crabby and didn't like everybody. He was like, this was the best that I've been to ever.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in Chicago, what, in 2026? Not 2026,
Cleveland next year,
2025.
Chicago, and then
2025.
unknown.
Yeah. And
It goes
probably
Cleveland next year, Chicago 25, and then it's up in the air.
Probably Atlantic City. Those are the rumblings
because
that we're getting.
Well, they're trying to pay the vendors to come to Atlantic City. Like right now, from what I was told, they're offering them $1,000 each.
Credit.
Yeah, dude, I did hear that. I think it might have been a stream you guys were on. You guys were talking about it, weren't you?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Dude,
well, we don't know with this new brass what they're really going to do. Now, these people that now take over the national run the Philly and New York show, so they have a lot of show experience with big shows. So we got to see what they do. I think they're going to try to err more on where do people want to go versus who's willing to pay us the most to bring us there. I really do think that.
That would be good. Let the community kind of speak. Not that everybody's going to agree, but like you can get a consensus that way at least.
Yeah.
I got a lot of like from the people I talked to, I just got a lot of negative. Like people weren't the happiest about AC last time.
Oh, I mean, I was there all 5 days from Wednesday to Sunday. Coldest day was definitely Sunday. Every time I would go in, I'd get in about an hour before VIPs would.
Oh, I'm at Atlantic City, AC.
Oh, okay.
Like
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't go last year because I didn't want to go to Atlantic City, and everybody was telling me the horror stories. So I did not go, partially due to that. Other than it was going to be last minute and it was too expensive, realistically.
That was the same thing for me, dude. And like walking around with cards and cash, and the fact I can't.
Yeah, people didn't feel safe.
I'm not fucking.
Yeah, I had some people DM me saying that they had to avoid people that were robbing him, and he just like gunned it with his car. But yeah, it's someplace I would not go with cards.
Yeah, I just don't want to be. I don't want to.
Well, I mean, you got people walking around with thousands to $100,000s of dollars worth of cards, plus 10 to 20K on them at all times.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really crazy. The amount of money that's just moving around in people's pockets at that point is crazy. I mean, there's definitely probably $1 million in cash at the National.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If I'm a dealer, why would I go to Atlantic City? That makes no sense.
Well, it makes sense why these promoters are willing to pay
you don't have a choice.
That's true. What were you saying, Steve?
I said it makes sense why if these guys who wanted in Atlantic City, if they're willing to pay the dealers, like you're going to have to incentivize these dealers to want to come up there because I don't know. I'm not trying to sit here and just shit on Atlantic City. It's just, again, we live in the real world. It wasn't a good experience. There's potential issues there. It's not worth it. Now, I would have gone to Rosemont this year. I had a whole bunch of stuff come up. I wasn't able to make it. Dude, I suffered FOMO so bad that I was like tracking down dealers. I was looking at stories for like a week straight and felt, I like this card. I like this. I got to reach out to him Monday, like after the show to see if he still has this. I did. I got a trade done, which was kind of awesome. But like that was to scratch my FOMO itch. But I had it bad. I'm not going to lie. And then Raw
I don't blame you. I mean,
pancakes eat pancakes. I was so jelly.
I mean, I was there and I didn't even get to experience everything the way I wanted it to experience it realistically, because so much was constantly going on. And I'm there for more than just cards. I'm more of an experience thing because I'm not a flipper. You know, I'll try and sell some cards, but that's not me. And the cards I was looking for, I think I found a total of 4 between the 2 different cards I wanted, and I could buy them cheaper on eBay while I was at the show than the people would even come down to.
Oh yeah, exactly. So,
I mean,
do you have any pickups on you?
What was that?
Do you have any cards from the show you bought on you or no?
Yeah, let me look. I mean, I only bought 1 card technically from the show.
Here.
It was this Bret Hart
Hitman
Immaculate
Hitman
25.
That's sick, bro. That's a nice
card. That's a nice card.
So what's funny is the people who had this, they had 3 of this. And only 1 had sold, and it was the last day on Sunday that it sold online. Sold for $400. I ended up buying that for $310. So I was like, I'm not gonna get hurt, and I like the card. Okay.
Yeah, dude. I'm the same way, Mike. If I'm going to a show like that, like I'm not there to flip, but if I'm selling cards, it's like, let me get rid of this so I can buy this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I would bring stuff to like I'd be willing to part way with, not necessarily to flip. I would want to go to like add to the PC.
Yeah,
That's kind of
100%.
my mindset too. I saw
Did you?
Neo's video or was it I don't know, sometime this last week. He picked up a Stone Cold auto.
Yeah, same
Dude,
guy
that
that I
was
bought
sick
the Bret
too.
Hart from. He bought the Stone Cold from.
RBI?
Yep,
What did
same one. Steve bought the Han Solo Adam Driver. That's where we got that from. They had great cards,
dude,
great
that's
cards, and they don't even list the stuff on eBay. That's the funny part. You go to their booth and you look. Like I said, they had 3 that's Bret Hart. Only one is ever even sold on eBay, and it's sold on Sunday.
that's
They've never even posted those, so nobody even knows they have them unless you go to their store or a show that they've been to. That's it.
Is it RBI 7? RBI Crew
Yeah,
7?
something. Yeah, I think so.
What
I know.
they used
I
to
have a
set
picture
up
of it somewhere.
at the Midwest Monster in Indiana where I would go to. That's more close, you know,
Yeah.
it's more regional for me.
I'm
So
wearing,
I go
I'm
there
wearing,
and like
I'm
there
wearing an indie exchange hat.
I got a shirt downstairs, man. Andy's the best, isn't he?
Yeah,
Andy's
I
such a
ended up
good
winning
dude.
a card in a Instagram thing, or Jeremy Lee's thing when he did the giveaway. I won their Michael Jordan record card, and they were so nice. I mean, just
Dude.
talking to them, going back and forth, the whole process was wonderful.
Great, yeah. Shout out Indy Ball Cart in Fishers, Indiana. Go take a visit if you have a
Yep.
chance. Like I highly recommend their store. It's a great spot. Andy's a great guy, super cool. He'll work with you, you know. But RBI Crew 7, they're a
Yep.
good bunch of group of guys too, because they would routinely be at the Midwest Monster in Fishers.
Yep.
And I've done a couple deals. I can't remember what cards they were. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. But like I've done deals with Andy too. Like, but yeah, they have great showcases. And like they'll have like a pop culture case, like they have it
Yep.
all sectioned off, like their basketball, like that's
Yeah,
more
it's not. Yeah, because
my
it
lane.
was funny. There was Dustin's into Stranger Things, and the place the people that were right across from them in the same aisle
Mhm.
had like one of the rarest Stranger Thing cards in a PSA slab, and it was sitting in with all the wax. It wasn't even in a regular showcase. Like I noticed it because I was doing my slow roll that I usually do for my channel, and I look and I'm like, it's numbered to 10. That's a triple auto of like the 3 main characters, and I'm like, nobody even knows this thing's here.
Yeah,
And
dude.
it's one of those things you can't even price because another one hasn't even sold, so you don't even know what it's worth. They had a high price tag on it, but the guy was like, make us an offer. We really don't know what we can get for it.
Hey, when you are in that position where you have something that scarce and there's no data, what are you gonna do? I'd probably do the same thing, to be honest. Make me an offer if I think
Tonight I was at trade night. A guy had a Giannis Giannis auto, not his rookie or anything, but it was a Contenders ticket auto, but not from the regular, almost like it's the sub version, I guess, the draft version
okay.
Contenders, numbered to 25. It was cracked ice, but there's only one with a just best offer by now, but none. We went back 3 years of data. All of us were at all the different websites. We could not find one that had sold. We had zero idea what a comp would be on it. We were just assuming it was worth probably $1,000.
Yeah.
It was in an 8.5 in an SGC slab, so we were like, based on a cracked ice, it's numbered to 25, sold for $2,000. What does the sub version of this go for?
Right.
We were trying to figure it out, and the guy's like, I have no idea what I want. We threw numbers at him, and of course, he was just like, I don't know. So it's just one of those things that just either somebody wants to get out of something bad enough, or you want it enough that you're willing to make a good enough offer that the person feels like they're getting a deal. That's how you do it.
There you go. There you go. So last Sunday, did you notice? Did dealers try to reduce the prices like crazy, or they just were
A
like,
lot of
"Hey,
them were actually packing up and leaving. I
Okay.
went looking for a dealer from a Saturday to Sunday, and that
Mhm.
dealer wasn't even at the same table because people were subletting their tables to leave
Oh.
because there was people that sold almost all their cards. They were done. And then they're like, oh, you want my table? Give me $150, $200, and you can have this table. That's what they did because there's no person at the National walking around making sure that company's at that table. That doesn't exist. Maybe the first day when they're doing their little, checks and balances, but after that, there is nobody walking around going, "Do you belong here?"
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it could be empty, and I could turn around, sit on the other side, and start selling stuff.
That's
Nobody
actually
would know.
smart. Especially if you're out of inventory or you've sold or you hit your number you wanted and you're running it a day early, drive early home. I'd sell it. I'd probably sell my spot too.
Yeah. Breakers
Yeah,
Pavilion was the first thing breaking down on Sunday. They were, because they do their breaks later in the day usually anyway.
Mhm.
they were just straight up and shut down. Like the whole booths were down when I went in Sunday.
Did you release your slow roll video of the
Yeah.
national yet?
Day before yesterday, I did like 35-minute slow roll.
Bro, I
of
got it, dude.
just
I
You
I
have to
would
watch
watch
that.
I would watch your slow roll video, and like I love the way you do it because it's like it's I'm not, you'll talk, but it's like don't look at anybody, just look at cards.
Just slow roll, and you'd be
It's
surprised how
like
many people get
it's
mad
like
at me
word
for
heaven
doing
for
that.
me, bro.
I get a lot of people that get mad at me. Like I'll a lot of times if a guy looks a little shady looking at me, I'll be like, "Can I record your cards? It's for my YouTube channel. I won't include you because they don't want you to know who they are because there's a secret, or because more than likely they're doing cash deals and they don't want somebody else to be like, oh, I saw this video, you sold some cards." That's why I try to never do a video with transactions, unless maybe it's my own, because I'm not trying to put anybody else out there and maybe get them in a situation that they may have a problem with me because of it, or put them in a situation that, maybe they get in trouble for it. Right. So that's why I don't like to do those type of videos. Even when I see like a Roth or somebody doing it, that I know they videotape it themselves, I usually will just stop it before transaction happens and then just move along.
I've
But I
noticed
do get a lot of people that give me a lot of shit for it. I'll tell you that.
Hey, fuck them.
I
paid to get in. I'm here to look, so it doesn't matter if I'm doing it with my camera or not.
Like from a consumer, like a content consumer perspective, like I don't want to hear the catchphrases in these deals that, dude, let's be honest, some of these guys, maybe these deals aren't even real. I don't know. I'm not trying to like accuse people, but like some of this shit ain't even real. Like as somebody who enjoys collecting cards and likes to go to, like, I like window shopping at cases.
Yep.
Like, the way you just go through case by case by case, like that's what people like me want to see. Like for
there's a lot of people like you. I mean, I have a niche
40
group
minutes
of people
on your video, like living vicariously through your camera, just so it's like, oh man, this is what this is what it was about.
Because I did a test one where I just try to do music over it, and people actually like just the random white noise of a card show.
Yep.
Sometimes I ask questions, sometimes you hear talking, sometimes you hear funny things going on, people talking shit. But you have to listen to the whole video and watch it. So sometimes there's a lot of stuff in between my videos that if you don't watch it, you're not going to catch on. And I'm silly and goofy and say stupid stuff all the time. I'm never going to grow up. And I know that, and that's cool. That's just who I am. See a lot of people. But, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that can't get out to shows. They don't see any cards. They don't see any big cards all the time. My biggest problem with my Tampa shows, because I have like 3 to 4 a month here, the same ones, is finding new cards. Right. I can show you the same card that's been in the same case for the last 3 to 5 months. But if you watch my channel, I don't want you to feel like I'm showing you the same thing over and over and over again. So I always that's why some videos are shorter or longer than others, just based on
that's the show to do that for, man. National, like that's the show to go around and do that slow roll, like that content style, because like people like me who weren't able to make it this year, like we can kind of live vicariously through the camera, man. Like, man, that's what I enjoy. And like you said,
well,
like
that's also why I try to find cards with prices on them too. It's also a time machine. At the end of the day, I know nobody goes back and looks at old videos. Like very rarely do you have a video on anybody's channel that goes viral a year later.
Right.
Or people all of a sudden are watching, like, why did it get recommended? But you can go back through some of my videos over time, because I've been doing this since the pandemic, and you can see pricing differences through cards. You can look back and go like, geez, if these were the prices today, no one would buy this, but we were buying it then. So at the same time, even I go back and look at some of my videos that I know had cards in because I wanted to see what a price was, because I have some type of a mental memory that I actually remember doing it. So it's easier for me to do. But I have a certain group of people that really like what I do. There's a lot of people that just find me all of a sudden, and they're like, where has this been my whole life? And it's funny, when I'm doing those slow rolls, I still think I'm going too fast. So because I'm always looking at a video, and the worst thing to do is when you glance at a case and then it's gone. So, man, I need to look at that, and that's why I started doing that, though.
I want to say, dude, I swear you did one of those videos. I don't know what show it was at, but I knew one of the dealers you were going by. Not that you posted, but I don't know if you might have mentioned him.
Maybe.
I even got a hold of him like, hey, bro, do you still have that card? Because it was that weekend of the show, or like a couple days after the show. That I wish I could remember what show it was.
I've had people come up to me at a show.
I followed him on Instagram, is why I bring this up. Okay. And I was asking him, now I can't remember what all happened. But it was definitely from one of your videos. It was a
I get
while.
people that show up to shows because of my slow roll to try and find the dealer that has whatever card they may
Yep.
want. You know,
See,
I can't always guarantee they're going to be at the next show, but
and that's a and like
it is what it is.
that's a unique thing in this hobby because most people are not doing content without their face blasted all over the camera constantly.
Correct.
I've gotten pushback from some vendors where I try to record them or ask them before I do that, and they're like, "No, I don't want to have other people look at my inventory." But I think it's more of they don't want the prices of what they're selling at. But I don't know.
And I think that's
too. Certain
that is
vendors
part
are
of it.
little like, I know I'm high on stuff. I don't want this going out.
Exactly.
Usually
Like
you
the
can
supply.
videotape my cards, but don't show me.
Yeah.
That's usually what I get. You can videotape them, just don't show me because they don't want to be able to be linked back to that card, especially if it's a big card.
Right.
I mean, I've had people that are like, "Hey, I know you just saw this deal. Please don't show that for me, please. I don't mind you knowing about it, but I don't want that out there."
Right.
I said, "Okay." I'll usually delete it right from them. Just be like, "Listen, I'm not gonna pull any fast crap. It's your business, not mine. You're respectfully asking me to delete it. You're not being mean to me, and I want to be able to keep coming here and you not be mean to me." So
Right.
at the same time, there's a give and take, and I understand it's business. It's cool. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Did you two see the card? Someone was selling a Fleer '86 Jordan, quote unquote, PSA 10 for $3,000.
I didn't see it. I heard about it as like everybody else. I heard about the Ryan Nolan, but I didn't see it. I never caught it. It never came by me.
Did you see that, Steve?
I heard about it, but I'm not that well versed in everything. I heard about it.
I mean, that card goes for over $100,000. So
there's no way. Like, did the sale actually go down?
I don't think it went down, but like if someone's selling that,
yeah, I was gonna say if somebody sold that for $3,000, like now I'm really having FOMO.
What booth did you like the best there, Michael?
Booth as in a vendor,
like,
or like
a vendor, or a company. Like, what did you like the best? Who do you think did the best job?
I mean, no, you're giving.
I know it's vague, but
Gary V some shit earlier, but I think the two winners of the show were Michael Rubin and Gary V. They were everywhere.
That's interesting. But yeah, I'm curious to say why you think. Okay, I agree with Michael Rubin because whenever I was walking, I saw like marketing of PWCC. Their Fanatics booth was done well. Michael Rubin got a bunch of athletes and other prominent figures to talk about card collecting, speculating. I think Michael Rubin was the biggest winner. So Gary V. So how do you think he's the winner? Just curious.
First of all, his booth was busy the entire time. His booth was very colorful. They're rolling out an actual gameplay now, so it's an actual game, not just these cards with art on it. There's a whole nother level to his product. So I'm looking at it from a product standpoint and what somebody's offering. He was out there with all the people. He was walking around, signing autographs, interviewing with everybody, shaking everybody's hand, moving through the show like a normal person at times too. Like if you went over to Golden's booth, for instance, which I gave Ken a bump and got to chat with him for like -1 second. It's going to be in my new video that I'm uploading right now. There's some bodyguards around. There's a guy that's like ready to take my head off, that's 380 and looks like he wants to kill me anyway, just for fun. And that doesn't feel cool. You know what I mean? So, and I understand they're also protecting the product that they had there. That's part of their showcase. It's in their auction. Completely get it. Nobody was mean or nefarious or anything like that. But he had definitely a layer to him if you tried to get to him. I just happened to catch him after him cutting a promo, walking out. He was sweating his ass off. I think this was Friday night or Friday. And he was miserable. He looked like he was tired and was like kind of at the point, I'm kind of done with this right now. But again, the reason Rubin, again, another one all over the place. He was at the trade night with Card Collector too. And he did the interviews, but he was walking around too. You could approach him like a normal person. And these two guys went out there and I went and watched a break they did together in the Fanatics live booth. It went fantastic. Half the cards they just threw, I think it was like Topps Chrome basketball from Kobe's rookie year that they opened a box. They were just throwing packs into the audience. What do those cost? $150 a piece. They had a good time, and I didn't I didn't see anything negative coming from any of them. And it was, again, when somebody's approachable that supposedly is unapproachable or the top of the food chain, you usually don't have these opportunities. They were giving these opportunities out and blending, and everybody respected them for their time and their effort. And that's why I feel like they were the two biggest winners of this. Card grading wise, if we want to go that route, I felt CGC did a fantastic job. They had a carnival-like experience over there for the kids. They were very quick on their grading. They were very responsive to somebody standing around, maybe not sure what they should do or what's going on right here. Beckett's biggest fault was their stupid piece of paper you still had to fill out by hand.
Yeah. You
like
think
they were the only ones that did not digitize the process. I liked what Tag did, for 2 days. Tag basically was answer 4 of these 5 pictures of cards and then grab a slab that, the way they do it in their black bag, and you get a free slab. And everybody can help each other. You pretty much just win. It was just playing a game, displaying the stuff, but they're the only ones that gave away a slab. And I understand they're a new company and some people want to crap on them, but my biggest thing about Tag is we wanted all this transparency. This company is giving us all this transparency and a nice product, and now people are giving it shit. So I don't get it. I understand they're not grading as quick as they want. They're new. Everybody that comes into this hobby new that's like this and tries to excel, they all have to hit the brakes and they fall off. They're just not allowing themselves to do that. So they're technically being smart. We just want more. PSA, they did a queue system the entire time. So there was never a long line, because if you weren't called, you weren't standing there, which was great because you're not wasting time.
Right.
Topps and all these other companies, when they were doing their daily giveaways and stuff, that usually always happened at 11. Now what sucks is you're already in the show. You have to go stand in line if you want any chance to not stay in line forever. So you now have to waste an hour, 2 hours of your day, when you may only be there one day, to try and stand in line to get what they're offering for this event. So I wish that went a little quicker and smoother, and or maybe they created time channels for people to stop in or do a queue. That way you can still mill around the show. You get your text message. That way they get some data from you. And now you go show up and you're ready to go. There's no waiting in line for 2 or 3 hours in a line that's snaking around the building with 1,000 people in it.
Yeah.
It's just uncalled for. That
needs to have to be miserable being in the National and you're waiting in line for hours on something.
Hours.
That's the worst.
Yes. Yeah, that's why
when I got my silver tax the first time, I was in line at 9:30. I was probably around 110 in line, I think is what I counted, 111. And I had to wait an hour and a half technically. Now I had other people with me, so we would jump out of line, go do something, and then come back. That's what we were doing. We were tagging each other in and out. But other people don't have that luxury. So
yeah,
those are things that can be improved.
That's why I refused to get an autograph at the show, because I just didn't want to stand in line. But
the price of those autographs.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear about the Kareem issue?
Oh, yeah. I saw in the comments what happened.
So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's agent was, so people would come up with like a rookie card of Kareem for him to, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to sign, and his agent would basically tell them what grade they think the rookie card is and would upcharge them on top of the original charge if they wanted to get that card autographed. What? So he was trying to self-grade cards and then charging a premium on top of that before he would allow Kareem to sign them.
What?
There were people that waited in line for 2 days in a row. I know Ryan Nolan's buddy, I think it was Steve, waited in line for 2 days, paid $300 to get this autograph. They had to refund him, which they can't give him his time back, that he stood in line for hours, because it just took too long. Everybody was arguing with the guy to try and get the signature. That's a bad experience.
Isn't it through TriStar though? The signatures?
Yeah, but some of these people had agents. I know one of my buddies here, he did a thing with did Darrell Revis, which went great. That was fine. He wanted him to do an inscription. His agent told Darrell, you can't do that. Like, I'm not going to let you sign that. So they had to change it. Even though they'd already paid for things, there are things that the agent will basically dictate what the person gets to sign.
That's crazy. I'd rather send it to Ryan Sandberg, send $10, who lives an hour away from me, and I'll get it back within
It's a lot of people. It's funny because TTM through the mail for a lot of these guys, if you send them money, 20, 30, $50 even, You know, they'll sign it all day long. They're in their comfort of their home. They get to read a letter. They feel good about themselves. It's at a leisurely pace. There's no pressure. And they're collecting, you know, let's say they do 100 a day at $20, you know, that's good money for them, even still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just sitting on their ass for an hour doing stuff. You know, there's a lot of people that do TTM and they're cool with it. And there's some people that don't want to be bothered anymore. They're just sick of it and they hate everybody. That's just the mentality. The ones that accept it, excel. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just Wade Boggs here. I live in Tampa. He lives probably like 30 minutes from me. I think he's now
$10,
$15 or $20.
$15. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd pay
Yeah.
for
But
that. Yeah.
he gives you his house address. Send it to my house. I mean,
Yeah.
let's at least do a PO box or something. But no, send it to my house. We're cool. So those type of things are great. But that situation that happened, it's going to turn a lot of people off. So there needs to be some type of guarantee. If you purchase a ticket for an autograph and you're going with whatever card, because usually it says rookie card X dollars, you know, or, you know, photo X dollars. If you pay that, there should be no question of what grade you think the stupid card's going to grade. Like that's inconsequential to the autograph being on whatever product I'm bringing to you.
So what if you were to tell the agent or whoever and say, listen, what if I'm choosing not to get this card graded?
What
He
if I
didn't care.
want
He was
my
gonna-
PC?
He would, it didn't matter. He was under the impression everybody was there to get that card graded and make more money. That was his only way of thinking.
That's a dick
Just
move.
greedy.
But they signed a contract though with TriStar though, right?
I guess I don't know how that works. I'm assuming they did, but it was bad. A lot of people were upset, like very
I've heard
upset.
a
A lot of
couple
people got a
instances
refund.
where Kareem's been very difficult about his autographs.
Yeah.
I guess that's not.
It's to the point he's trying to just probably stop autographing.
Yeah, I mean I don't think he's going to be invited to these shows in the future if his agent's going to do that.
Yeah.
Patches says, wait till Fanatics starts to run autograph pavilion soon. They have restrictions for auto players exclusive to them. No adding inscriptions to older autos, no tickets and other ones. And this is the reason why I've been aggressive sending through the mail autos, because I don't know if some of these guys will be restricted from doing that or they'll ask for more money.
Well, maybe in advance they can restrict them. I don't see how you can restrict anybody. I don't care what the contract is for them signing their autograph on anything they want, writing anything they want.
No, but what if it comes through a price though? Like you're paying someone.
But
if it's free, that's fine.
Well, I mean, there's certain players, even Michael Jordan, he won't sign a card for just a friend unless it's an upper deck card. He will not. He's not doing that anymore. You know, but you know, at the same time, you're going to take whatever you can get for him. So, but these other guys that don't have that type of leverage, that's completely different. You know what I mean? But it's like certain people are picking and choosing, and it seems to be becoming more common than it was in the past. Like people are creating their own value, or people are telling them they have this other value that may not exist, and they're running with it right now.
Right.
I think it's just safe to say I'm not paying or standing in any lines for autographs in Cleveland next year. I'm gonna.
What if LeBron comes? No, he can't sign it. I said, what if LeBron comes? Don't you want your?
You know how expensive that would be?
No.
$1,000 for a LeBron auto.
Well, I think Tom Brady, when Tom Brady signed the last time when he was still in Tampa, they did a signing, not live. It's where you could only mail stuff in or purchase. They started at $2,400.
I'm not surprised.
But he doesn't sign. So Panini, for instance, a year ago, they put their last Tom Brady's auto in product, and I think it was Score and then like Obsidian or something, and they were numbered to 5. Those were the last autos they had. So no National Treasures, no Flawless for the last few years. That's why there's no Tom Brady autos. They are out. They've been out, and they put them in that dumb product. But that's why, like being a Bucks fan, I stopped chasing that stuff because I don't. Yeah, I can get a low numbered Brady, but the goal is to get an auto. Yeah. And then while he was here, he wouldn't sign Patriots cards, Bucks cards only. So it's just an example of, you know, when they do it, because I know a person that works with players, and he would sign cards for the players, but only if they were in a Bucks uniform.
Damn.
Man, these guys are catching on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a business.
A lot of these older guys, they make more money now than they did back then. Look at all the wrestlers. I mean, they're making so much money now, it's not even funny. even with little promos and events they do. I mean, there's more money now for them than there ever was, and it's continual money flow. It's easy. It really is easy as long as they're not annoyed with it. The ones that are annoyed with it usually have so much money, don't care, and might just be a little stuck up on themselves, and they don't feel like they need to do it.
Like Gary Payton, I know he used to sign all the time. Now, if you send to Gary Payton, he's not going to sign.
Mhm.
If you send it to him at his house, and I think he does some private shows though, or some. I think he's doing with Powers autographs, but I don't know. It is what it is. I think like going back to the National, the booth that I was impressed by just from an aesthetics point of view was actually Golden. Even though I did a video on Golden today, I
Oh, it
think
was
their booth
beautiful.
looked the best. Yeah, it was amazing.
And anybody that had that mat where you walked on it and it was rubberized, like a fatigue mat, any of those, I would go to some of those places when I was just trying to ponder and figure out where I'm running to next, just so I could stand on that mat because it was so helpful. When I had Dr. Scholl's in 2-week-old tennis shoes, I was ready to roll. And my left ankle still flared up and started swelling up about day 4 because I was running about 25,000 steps a day. I was doing miles back and forth through that. I was very active. I was not slow pacing at any given point.
No. And I think what other booths I liked, even though I've trashed PWCC, I think they had a good booth.
Yeah,
I liked
Heritage's booth.
Heritage. Yeah, Heritage was nice.
Heritage was gorgeous what they did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people walked right by that.
So
Like,
did they have like all the businesses and corporations like together, like the big dogs, or it was all spread out?
It was kind of spread out.
Yeah,
Depending on what you paid, I think. I don't know the tier structure and how it was organized, but maybe Mike.
it looked like larger floor space areas were in what I called the lobby after a while. We had to start nicknaming things certain sections. So we knew when somebody said, when I called Steve, I'm like, where are you at? He's like, I don't know. I'm by the Breakers Pavilion, but I'm just north of it. So we created a north, east, south, and then we started creating sections. You were in the Beckett section. You were in the Breaker section. There was another section past that. And then there was what we called the lobby, the main floor, basically. And the main floor is where your bigger companies seem to be. Hopefully next year in Cleveland, they group these things together. It would be nice if all the grading companies were back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like that, but from a standpoint for the consumer,
for the people
it
paying,
would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Back to back to back. Put all your Dave and Adams in your big box places like they usually have them pretty close to each other, because when they were doing the Topps silver packs, Dave and Adams completely ran out of the Topps chrome. Like, cases gone. They didn't have any more. They literally got wiped out. So everybody went over to the other company. I forgot who it was. And at that point, they had already marked them up $5 or $10 because they knew they ran out. Now they had to get them over here. So, and I've noticed that even 2 years ago in Chicago when I went to the show, when they noticed silver packs were moving really good, the companies notice they get low, they'll start upping the price $5 or $10, which isn't a lot, but you had a price, just stick to it. You run out. So it feels a little slimy sometimes.
Yeah, I also noticed that there was a flea market vibe to the show, and then there's the more corporate environment. The flea market vibe, I felt there wasn't any AC there, and then the corporate area, it was much better in terms of air conditioning, and I wanted to be in the corporate side because it wasn't too hot and
So
is an environment.
any side that had any area that had access to an exterior door where air could get sucked out was noticeably 10 to 15 degrees hotter immediately. Like, it happened fast because that air just gets sucked out. Because when I'm in there early in the morning, it's cold. Like, it's cold. It's like 68 degrees. But come around 10:30, 11 o'clock, there's too many people. Yeah. Even the body heat itself.
Yeah.
There's just no way it can keep up. I work in facilities. When you put a lot of people in a room, the AC can struggle real quick. Yeah. And that's just what was happening. I mean, I don't know how many people were in the show at one time on either Friday or Saturday, because Friday ended up being the busiest physical day. That was the hardest day to move around by far for me. I thought Saturday was going to be the day. Friday was worse than Saturday. And then Sunday was just, if you wanted to walk around and have a good time, Sunday's your day. There's nobody. It's ice cold. People are probably willing to sell. Look like they were, at least. But at that point, you also have a lot of cards that have already moved. So a give and take with that type of situation. But it was very comfortable to walk around on Sunday. Sunday and Wednesday when I got there early, just walking around, super easy, enjoyable for a good hour. And then once VIP hit, you literally could see people kind of walk running all over the place. And you're like, oh, chaos is getting ready to ensue. I got 30 more minutes. Just go figure out what we're going to do. Get there quick.
Gotcha.
But it would be nice if you could leisurely walk around that show, but you can't.
You can't. It was tough. Saturday,
I mean, even when I was doing my slow roll videos, it was hard for me to get the table. I literally sometimes had to wait 10 minutes to see a good table because there were 2-3 people deep. I would just stand off to the side, check some emails and stuff, and just kind of patiently wait because I'm like, because if I start to wander off, I'm not going to be able to get back to where I'm really trying to create a snail position to move around the show and make sure I see everything. I'm pretty sure I saw every table at that show, every single table, but it took me 5 days, literally all 5 days.
I'm going to watch your video after.
Yeah, I'll watch that too.
I'm definitely going to be chilling on the couch.
Yeah.
Probably with a Miller Lite. I'm taking this in.
Bigger the TV, the better.
Amen.
No Bud Light for you, Steve?
No Bud Light for Steve, no.
Steve's don't drink Bud Light.
No. No. Steve does not drink Bud. I don't Speaking of Steve's, I watched a video today released by the one and only Flippin' of Steve's.
Yep.
You gotta challenge him in this fantasy football league.
Oh no, I'm already in it, so I was like probably the second person in it. But we're supposed to be cutting promos, so it's going to be interesting if we do this throughout the season too. So I think this could really morph into something bigger than even what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hope. Right now the goal is to get enough to bring one person. At the end of the day, we may bring 2, we may bring 3. Who knows what we're going to do? Yeah. It just comes down to what we really bring to the table and do. We want to have fun. We got a lot of shit talkers in the league already. We got a few people who are pushing some buttons on purpose.
We have our own chat.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. He didn't go that hard. He didn't go that hard on me. He didn't mess with the road dog too much because he knows what's up with the road dog. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, though, we're gonna give each other a hard time. We give each other a harder time in our own chat than we do actually in public because we obviously have personal things we know about each other that we'll gently throw at each other and shots fired. But we'll do it on our side. But if we tried to bring you into it, you wouldn't know because you're not into all the other chat that happens. You'd be like, I don't understand what's going on.
The context.
So hopefully whatever we do video wise creates a montage over time of what's going on, because I plan on talking shit every time I win each week. And even when I lose, I'm going to blame them somehow for me losing that I should have won. Like I'm going to, and God forbid if my bench outscores you and I win, I'm going to roast the living shit out of you. Okay.
This is a good
I don't know everybody in the league. There's like 5 people I'd never met. Like I know their channels. I've watched their stuff. I don't know them though.
Hey, that's no reason not to shit talk them.
Oh no. Jeff's getting it too. I don't really care. Geoff getting it too.
That's going to be interesting with Ziggy in it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too. We're not going to take Ziggy lightly either. He's going to get it too. And Ziggy's got it coming. Like, careful what you ask for. Steve, you should see Steve can cut a promo. So be careful with Steve because he'll pull shit out of the weeds.
You should bring in Card Ladder and Ziggy. That'd be interesting.
Maybe the next they can do their own league.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go in a few minutes, but go ahead. What were you saying?
No, we're going to have our own special. I think we're going to do our own trophy as well for the league. We're going to order one of those special.
You remember the TV show, The League?
Yeah. Oh, I love the league.
God, the Shiva? Oh my God, dude! You guys got to come up with a Shiva.
I'll try and do a mention of that. I got to go back and watch it because I haven't seen it in so long because it's been off air for so long. I obviously can go back and watch it. But that was by far one of my favorite series.
Wasn't that hilarious?
It was
so
fantastic.
Accurate because that's how a real group of friends in a fantasy league would really be.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and that's what we're trying to develop here too.
Extremely this is childish, but extremely necessary.
Yes, and we have a few very childish people in this league, so it should go well. I'm not pulling it. I'm not gonna go lightly on them, and I'm not even nowhere near the biggest channel, but I'm probably the 3rd smallest channel on there. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm coming at them. You know what I mean?
Hey, bro, that's the edge you need. That's the edge you need. Punch up.
That's right. I could be in last place. I'm gonna still start talking shit about everybody. I may have to start talking about other people losing to other people.
That's what I would do in mine. Like if I had one of them seasons, because typically I was like playoff contender. Like
Yeah.
won a couple. I've stopped playing though because I just don't enjoy the NFL like that anymore. But I just think a lot of these guys are babies. But if you have the chance, even if you are ass last, like you pretty much have thrown in the towel. But like there's no reason to not start shit with people.
If somebody sends me a trade and it's bad, I'm going to go public with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, this is what I want out of this league. I want it to feel like we're all shitting on each other nonstop.
This will be good. This will be good for. I reached out to Steve.
So. As long as we get the interest, awesome. I know Dakota. He's going to talk shit nonstop, so that's going to be easy. Steve's going to fire off whenever. I'm curious to see what Neo does, and God forbid Dustin gets out there and starts yapping at us. So I mean, it's going to be really. And then Jeff, I don't know what he's going to say because outside of really knowing anybody in there, you know, he knows Dustin, a little bit of Steve and Neo, and one other guy. Realistically, Ziggy probably, but. Outside of that, he doesn't really know us. Chris Sewell, baseball card collector's in there too. I don't know what Jedi Boy is going to do, but no mind trick on this guy. That's not going to happen here. So at this point, we got to get this shit going.
We got 1 month. 1 month, and we're here.
We're going to be
maybe he could add more spots to it.
Well, 12
again, originally we were like, we didn't even think people would really want to sign up. Like we figured we'd ask some people and see what it does. Everybody's, always in 3 other fantasy leagues. I have 3 other fantasy leagues on top of this one now.
Yeah.
And I'm already doing fantasy baseball right now and a bunch of other crap. So it's just one of those things that, a couple of them are like, I'm not going to have time to do it, blah, blah, blah. Everybody has time to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. The football season, they don't play for 2 days out of the week now, at especially one point of the season. You only have 2 days to change your lineup anyway. So it's not even a big deal.
Yeah. One last thing before I have to get going. Are you two planning to go to the National next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me, Dustin, and Neo. Neo lives in Ohio, so I don't think he's going to do that. We were talking about maybe doing an Airbnb and renting a car. That way we can just come to and from because there is that lack of hotels that are anywhere near the convention. They say the parking is fantastic and it's easy. Yeah. The venue itself, Mike Baseball Card Collector, who's been in a lot of nationals, he's like, this is the best convenient version of inside the show. Yeah. Because it's literally a straightaway, like a giant football field that just goes on forever.
It's like
it's real tall ceilings and it's nice.
Like they used to store planes in there. It's enormous. Like as far as like you were saying, inside of the show for the inside, it's the perfect venue. It is enormous. Yeah. But like you said, the hotels, it's not convenient to downtown Cleveland. So like trade nights and festivities, there's a way to pull it off, but it's not going to be like Rosemont. It's not going to be that convenient where people can just like walk to whatever they want to do. Like anything outside of that.
Food's not convenient either. Driving. So
food's not
internally great, externally bad.
Yeah. But you know what? Like there's hotels around it, like probably, 10, 15 miles around, but they're not those big, like where everybody can kind of plant their, roots and like, I'm going to be here for the week. We can get trade nights going down. It's not like that, but I'll be there next year for sure. That's in my dad.
I plan on going unless something massive happens that I can't go. I plan on going because we were talking about getting in as early as getting in Monday, going to see the Hall of Fame because a bunch of us haven't seen the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Yeah, only like probably 15 minutes.
Well, once the show starts, you think, I'll be able to break out and go see something and come back. Oh, no, you cannot. Once you walk into that show, you walk out because you're either going to take a shower to come back and grab your card to go to trade night. Otherwise, no. It's you're up at 8 and you might be in bed sometimes at 2.
And like I guarantee you, like when it's full swing, like I can't speak because I wasn't there, but Mike, I bet you like the day goes quick. Like things start.
I felt like I was there for 3 days.
Yeah.
I was there for 5. I felt like it was 3. Like I was just taking naps.
I would feel like there's so much going on. It's nonstop. 2, you're when you even are involved with something, you're thinking of the next thing. And like if you're missing out on something, so there's a FOMO. Like it's just I had FOMO, but I'm excited for next year. Like I'll definitely be there. I'm going to my dad's early. because he lives
Okay.
probably 45 minutes from that IX center. I'm
Okay.
down south in Ohio, so I'm not really near Cleveland. But like where my dad lives, I'm probably gonna make the daily commute because it's only 45 minutes ish. But like, dude,
Yeah.
it's gonna be worth it. I'm going.
That's how far it is for Neo too. But he might get
Yeah, I
lazy and then
spoke
start
with him
ripping
earlier because I
yesterday on
asked
his
him. He
price.
said it's probably around the same.
Yeah.
That
You just-
wily old vet Neo.
Just make
The
sure
only
to come
time he
to.
gets a hold of me is to shit on me for selling my Jokic light blue Prism PSA 9. That jackass. He helped orchestrate that deal too.
Yep.
All righty, guys. I gotta get running. But Steve, make sure to come to Chicago in 2025 so we can meet in
Yes.
person.
Yes, I'll definitely be there for that.
And yeah, hopefully you can make it there too in 2025. To Mike.
Yeah, I plan on being there. I mean, as long as I'm having fun, I'm going to keep going back. Again, I go for more than just cards. It's the one time I get to see people that I talk to on these channels that I call friends that I can go see and meet in person. And there's still people I still didn't even meet this year that were even at the show. I still didn't meet them.
Yeah, same here.
That's how big and fast it goes. But everybody had a good time, so that's the most important.
Yep. Oh yeah, one last thing. Do you think the Fanatics shows are going to be worthwhile compared to these? Were you go?
It's going to
the
be
Fanatic?
fantastic is the best word to say it. Yeah, Michael Rubin knows all these people personally. We've seen him at his little white party with everybody under the sun that looked like the Hollywood special. And think about it. He's going to bring these athletes in. They're going to be doing him some sort of favor. I'm sure there's a buddy system that works into this. It's not a secret. But God forbid somebody that is not an athlete but is just generally famous is also associated with this and comes in. You start getting actors, actresses, musicians in. People feel like they're at the Oscars now with everybody else. And if they create that environment around this, you're going to be sold out. Like people are going to be paying over ticket price to try to get to this event. If they do that and they do it smart, they can offer this. But they have to be smart about it and then roll it in. Because remember, he also wants to do the gambling thing too. So there's another tie into this that goes much farther than what we're seeing. Like his vision's well past 2 years. And I give them a 5-year window to figure out if they're going to be either good and or stay in the hobby or decide this isn't right and we need to leave.
Oh man, this comment just cracked me up. Steve, you're
I
gonna
saw
die.
that.
Steve.
Oh God. Jeez.
Oh God.
Well, his name's Patches. I feel like
Damn it,
what he
Patches!
says. I mean,
It's not a live stream unless Patches is in the chat, bro. Patches for the win.
Patches for the win, 100%.
On that note, I'll call it a night. Thanks, fellas, for
All
coming on.
Hey, it
Thanks
was
for
nice
having me on.
to actually meet you, Mike. So
You too. Well, hopefully we
Good
meet
chat,
in person soon too.
yes, hopefully next year at National we'll get to.
All right, if you're ever down in Florida, everybody comes to Florida, and I'm in Tampa, so always let me know if you're down this way.
Absolutely. Raul, my brother, I
Yep.
appreciate
Thank
you as
you.
always, man. It's always
Thank
good
you
to
for bringing me
talk.
on.
For sure. Talk to you all later.
All right, man.